All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning show. Apologies for being late. Oh my goodness, what's happened to my camera? It's foggy in here apparently. Why is there fog? Hold on.
Because it's probably like 3 degrees in Ottawa right now.
This is sometimes your camera it can't like autofocus, and then it just all goes all weird. Unfortunately, in this software, I don't know how to turn it off. And now I've done it. Ooh, there we go. All right, we're back. Okay. We were trying to figure out how to. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry guys, 1 second in the room. I put things in the wrong spot. There we go. Now we got it in the right spot. Okay. Yes, we were just trying to find the live feed on YouTube. Hopefully our friends in YouTube are there. I still can't find it on our website. If you guys have, you're doing better than Mike and I are, because we're completely lost. So I don't know why we can't see it, but somebody found it. There's a few of you out there watching it. So good morning to everybody in YouTube. Good morning, Mike. How are you doing this morning, Mike?
I am cold. It is 13 degrees, feels like 9 in Kansas City. This is unbearable. I don't know how human beings live in this cold weather.
I think don't know. I've learned that cold is often a mental attitude, and once you get to the point where you just don't want to deal with it, you don't want to deal with it. And I think your brain has just said, no, I'm waiting for Dominican weather, and it doesn't really matter what's going to happen now. I'm going to find it cold. So
exactly.
I've been through that every winter. It seems like you get to that point where you're like, it can be like minus 30, and if I'm mentally ready for it, I'm like, yeah, it's cold, whatever, I'm good. But it could be like minus 2, and I go outside, I'm like, oh my God, why is it so freezing? So
yeah, anyways. I know. And Zen Trader, you might be surprised. I may be in Florida next year. We still haven't decided where we're going to spend the full winter once we come back.
Oh, well, you gotta, the world is a big place.
America too. Could be South America. We don't know.
Find anywhere. The world's a big place. All right, and I'm just because I'm excited about it. I'm just going to share some quick news. I want to say congratulations to my nephew, Matthias Ueda, who got called up into the WHL, which is the Western Hockey League. Here was him heading out for his rookie lap with the Everett Silverbacks, I think they're called. So, anyways, pretty exciting when somebody gets called up to the. Well, it's almost the bigs. It's not the NHL, but it's the next level hockey. As I was telling Mike, just to give you a perspective for anybody that's not a hockey person, Wayne Gretzky went right from the WHL into the NHL. So usually the patho goes through university hockey, but it doesn't have to. So pretty cool in any event. All right, so congratulations to Matthias. He's making his way to the bigs. Let's take a look at some economic data. We do have a couple of things that came out just a few minutes ago, Mike.
Big one is the jobless claims. So it's 191,000 reported versus 219, and then 1.93 million versus the 1.96. And as we can kind of tell, the SPY did a little reaction to it, but then kind of stabilized. So not much going on. Again, seems like the only thing the market cares about on the economic news is whether or not we're going to get an interest rate cut next week.
That's about right, because it's all about the stocks that are moving. Today we actually have a relatively light list and some familiar tickers on here. Some stuff that just keeps hanging around. I just don't get it, to be honest. But anyways, we'll go through that momentarily. But like you pointed out, Mike, the market here, if we sort of look back over the last couple of days, you can sort of see how the market has been moving. Yesterday, Not as an easy a day, I think. We found it pretty choppy at the open. I got lucky to get into a trade on Microsoft. It was pretty much my only trade of the day, really, the only trade of note. But the market did move. I mean, we did get some movement. We got some opportunity to take some trades, and some things were on their path. Nvidia made an interesting move around 11 o'clock. We had Tesla that was having a surprisingly good day, and of course Apple still it was playing at the all-time highs and then pulled back, so it made sort of a downward move. So not everything was going in the same direction. You had to be vigilant yesterday, and as you can see right at the open, which is right here, you can see that things were pretty choppy. So let's see what today brings. Like I said, we're going to start with this gappers list. We're going to look at what is maybe I should say unfortunately, I don't know, it's a familiar ticker here with polyxyron. It's only this week that we've started to actually look at this thing, and it just keeps hanging around. Like I have not traded it. I haven't really paid attention to it because, frankly, yesterday, oh my God, it did nothing once the opening bell rang. But here it is pre-market again.
Here it is, gapping up again off of kind of the same news that we have. It's all around this nasal drug. I think there probably are some people in the back end that are making some investments in the big. So there's probably some people with some money that are putting their bets on this company right now.
Well, and they've
Not
got
a
to
very
be
good day trader.
They've got to be, because again, zoom out of the daily chart too much. Remember, this looks just dead flat. You can't even see it underneath my my moving average lines. But if you zoom in, you can see that we had this gap up for 2 days, right? And then now look at it again today. So we went from $3 to $7. Now we're up at $15 today. So this thing is absolutely popping, but it doesn't seem to want to do its work during the market hours. It's all doing it outside of trading. So if you're an early morning trader, maybe you took advantage of this. Maybe it's something you want to take a look at now. It's got 6.3 million shares traded. I mean, there's no arguing that it's in play at the moment. I still
when the
don't
market
like it.
opens, it just doesn't provide opportunities. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe just after hours, it likes it. Right?
Well.
Something about nasal drugs, or right? Maybe.
Because we don't exactly have a large trading category for nasal drugs. But anyways, all right, well, we'll keep an eye on it, see what it does over the course of the morning here. PLRZ is the next one that's on the list here. And it is, we just looked at that.
You just
CBIO.
confused me.
Yeah, I know.
You just confused me.
That's my bad. CBIO. CBIO is the next one I was looking at. I was trying to do too many things at once, and my brain was not trying to go on autopilot. Crescent Bio something. Crescent Biopharma. Okay. CBIO. 1.2 million shares, up 15%. Trading looks a little spotty here pre-market. Mike, what's going on with this guy?
So they had announced a partnership with another biotech and a $185 million private placement. So this is to accelerate and expand their global pipeline for therapeutics for solid tumors. So it's a partnership, putting some money into expanding basically their ability to get their drugs out to treat solid tumors.
Okay.
Biotech. Isn't biotech supposed to be Monday? Isn't our biotech news Monday?
Hey, not this week apparently. It's going to happen when it wants to. $15 right now. It was as high as 22 earlier this morning, so certainly it has some room to move. This has got to be a low float though, right, Mike? I assume.
Yes, it is definitely a low float stock.
All right, so take it with understand the risk that you'd be taking if you want to follow this up. Not something I'm going to spend a lot of time watching. Something that just popped up on our gappers list is FLYE here, up 16% at the moment. 16. Well, I guess it's jumping here because now it's up 18% again. Just under 1 million shares traded. I don't think I've ever seen this ticker. FlyE Group. FLY-E, FlyE Group. What the heck? Why are they here, Mike?
Let's ask ChatGPT because there's nothing on Finviz or anything. The last news that I found on them is that they have what is it? Lawsuits. So
Ugh. Well, you know what, guys? This is going right into the truck. Let's
yeah,
roll it out.
it's just garbage.
There we go. Meep, meep. All right, we'll get rid of that one. Let's go back to our gappers. How about Path? We've seen Path on the list, not recently, but we had in the past. So UiPath Inc.
Yes.
1.3 million shares, up 8.8% right at the moment. I don't look how flat this is. It's just sort of moving sideways here pre-market. It's got a little bit of volume, but it doesn't look that exciting. Mike, why is it here?
So at least we finally have something that has an actual catalyst other than biotech news. So they had earnings yesterday. They beat on guidance, beat on earnings per share. And they released that they are above their midpoint for their year-end estimates. So this is moving on earnings. As you just noted, Peter, it's very, very kind of in the middle once it did its initial pump. So Jared was talking about this in engineering the markets. It did hit its expected move yesterday and then kind of pulled back from it. So we are on the upper echelon of it. So
the daily, I mean, it doesn't look bad where it sits here. I'm not loving its the way it's moving. I think we could find some better stuff. I'll drop it down here, but we'll see. I don't think it's likely to make my final list. All right, so here's another one that usually only pops up during earnings. Zim Integrated. This is a shipping company, if I remember correctly. They're up 4%, 600,000 shares. I'm not sure. I'm skeptical, Mike.
You ready for the garbage truck? It's just moving because it's paying out a dividend, and the Israeli government issued some guidance on tax withholdings regarding the dividend that they're going to pay on December 8th. And if you look at the 1 minute, you can definitely see needs the garbage truck.
All right. We trucked it. All right.
Yeah.
How about this? We haven't seen this guy on our list for a while. Hims was a constant companion on for a while there as it was making some moves up and then down. It hasn't been on. I haven't seen it anyways the last couple of weeks. 500,000 shares at 3% gap, so not huge. It made some interesting moves since 7 o'clock this morning as it moved higher. Anything new going on with Hims, Mike?
So a couple things. Yesterday, they announced an agreement to acquire Your BioHealth as a partnership to expand kind of their what is that? You test for blood samples and all that. But the real big news that's moving it this morning is they are now entering the Canadian market. So it's expanding customer base, and I think that's what's really got it moving. Not necessarily acquiring a company, because usually that drops the company or drops the stock price. So
okay, well, maybe we'll put Hims on the list and see what it does. And I just realized in so saying, I don't have the list up on the screen for you guys. Let's bring that in. I can show you guys the watch list as we start to track things. So there you go, Hims, and then of course our popcorn stock with PLRZ. Here. All right. Last one I see on the Gap Up list is XPEV, which is actually just trading positions with Hims. This one typically doesn't look that great. Today is no exception. 400,000 shares, up 3%. I definitely look. You can even zoom in on 1 minute chart. Look at these horrible candles. I don't like it.
Nope, so. I don't either. But the news on it is that yesterday they reported disappointing, lower than expected November deliveries. So I think this is kind of recovering from a hard sell-off. So a second day move, but yeah, nothing that I'm going to be trading or even watching. That looks like Algo's going to town on it.
Which is usually what happens with XPEV recently. It's unfortunately it doesn't lend itself to good retail trading. It does trade on the New York Stock Exchange, which is another, just makes it that much more challenging. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to ignore that. All right, well that's everything that's sitting on the gap up list for right now. And in fact, some stuff is dropping off as we're going, and the gap down list is getting bigger. That being said, I've got a couple things that I was watching overnight from earnings. We had CRM that had earnings overnight. This is Salesforce trading 500,000 shares. It's not on our list because it's only up 1.3%. I believe they had good earnings overnight, because if I look back at the 5-minute, I could see, it had this giant candle. It was down, it was up. I know it was bopping around right as we closed the day yesterday. Looks like it's now settled just barely above yesterday's close. I don't happen to have the earnings. Mike, how'd they do?
Yeah, I got the earnings on them. They beat earnings per share. They missed their revenue, but I think where people are excited is that CRM raised their Q4 estimates along with their FY26 guidance. So they're predicting a more positive future or more positive outlook in the future. That was definitely dyslexia.
Okay, that's okay. I get it too. Yeah, I don't love the look of it. It's one of these ones that's always okay but never great, and I don't think I'll be spending a lot of time watching. It also trades on the New York Stock Exchange, which, as I said, just makes it a little more difficult at times to trade. So I'm going to push on from that. The only other thing that's gapping up from an earnings is a Dollar General, also one that doesn't trade very well. They only have 160,000 shares, up 4%. I know they had earnings this morning. And their earnings had them. They beat their numbers, but nothing really too exciting to go on. That moves us to the gap down list. And actually, I should ask you, Mike, anything gapping up that you want to take a look at?
You got a lot more on your gap down list than I do. But anyways, nothing really gapping up. I typically watch the Mag 7 stocks, and then anything that's got a decent news catalyst. So really on the gap up list, it will be the Mag 7 plus. I'll probably keep an eye on Path just to have it up on my screen right now, or maybe HIMS. I'm kind of deciding between the two of which one I want to look at more.
Well, you mentioned how I have more stuff on my my gap down list. Why don't we let's take a look at our gappers list, and let's do something here.
Yeah, let's do the.
Because if you go to Trading Terminal, tradingterminal.com is where we get these lists from, and they're very configurable, and you can set the settings to whatever you want. So I'm just going in here, I'm pulling up the settings in Trading Terminal for the gappers, just to see what makes the difference between what Mike does and what I do. And Mike, if you do the same on your side, we can just compare settings. So I look for, first off, I've got to have a minimum 250,000 shares traded in the morning. I want a price that's over $5. I look for an ATR that's at least 50 cents on a daily basis. And
that's why.
What's your setting?
Your float. It's the float. You have a minimum of 1. I have 20. That's where it was.
20. Okay.
20 million.
Okay.
You guys want 1 million. I don't like those super low float stocks.
Okay. That could be why then. And then, of course, a 2% change from the close. So there you go. And as you can see then, so you change the settings, and that'll make a difference as to what it is that pops on your list and what doesn't. And it's great because, Mike wants to keep it tighter. He wants to really look at just the larger. We try and, spread the net because we know that there's people that are looking at some of the lower float. We don't want the micro float, those crazy ones. You can go onto the... so you can go on to some of the scanners and take a look at what's moving. Like, for instance, the thing that's moving the biggest loser this morning is something called CCRN. You're never going to see this on our list, because this thing normally trades 500,000 shares a day, and it's it's under $10, and it's just one of these low float stocks that pops up every once in a while that you're never find. But anyways, well, look at that. I lied. Look, it happens to be on my list. There it is.
It is on your list.
Yeah, see, I usually, if I go and look at this gappers list, it finds stuff that doesn't. So I lied to you. How about this one here?
What?
This is gapping up 55%. 44 million shares traded this morning. It closed at 92 cents yesterday. It's now at $1.40. So this is the type of thing I normally don't want to see. So, anyways, all right.
But now we are there. Now we match.
Now we're there.
KR. I don't know why KR isn't populating on mine. Maybe because I did mine just now, but that's all right.
Anyways, I already mentioned CCRN, which is gapping down 20%, 900,000 shares. It is not moving. Look at, 900,000 shares, but I honestly don't know where they happened because, look at this thing. It is totally dead. Even if you go into a 1-minute chart, nothing is happening. We're literally getting minutes here that had 1,000 shares traded this last minute, 2,000 shares the minute before. So anyways, this is why we want to avoid stocks like this. So I'm just going to move. I don't even care what's happening on CCRN. It's going into the truck, and I'm going to move on to something else right away. One that we have seen in the past is Unicure, Qure. It occasionally jumps up on our screen. It's down 20% this morning. Wow, it's had an interesting daily adventure here where it used to be around a $10, $12 stock, jumped up so it was $50, $60, back down to 30. Today we're opening at about 20. Mike, what's happening with this crazy thing?
Oh, you gotta love biotech. So the FDA came out and said their AMT 130 drug phase 1 and 2 data that Qure published, saying that they would meet these criteria. The FDA said, no, it is unlikely to support what they claimed it can do. So you see what happens when the FDA, who approves your drug, comes out and says you're full of something.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, getting a black mark from the FDA is never good. I have actually watched this in the past. It can trade. It can give trading opportunity. I don't know if today's going to be one of those days. I do sort of like what it's done this morning, though. If you look, let's zoom in on a 1-minute chart, and you can see that. Just pull back the data a little bit. It went as low on the initial announcement early this morning, as low as $17, popped all the way back up to 23, and now it's like midpoint of that, around 20. So there's room here. This thing could move. I have to say, though, it's probably closer to a popcorn stock than anything else because it's just, if I remember, Mike, I don't think this is quite a low float, but it's going to trade like a low float.
Yeah, it trades like a low float, not quite there. It is a little bit higher than normal. So it's 56 million, so on the float, so not too bad.
Yeah, that's what I remember. So we'll see what happens. I just don't know. So we'll put it here for now. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. All right, back to the gappers list. The next one I know is one of the earnings play. It's Snowflake, SNOW. Snowflake is gapping down 9% with about 600,000 shares traded. It looks okay, but not great. Tell us what the earnings said, Mike.
They beat on earnings per share, beat on revenue, but their product revenue outlook disappoints what investors wanted. So that's why it's gapping down. Not going to meet what their previous expectations were. So you take a hit.
Right. I actually like Cure better than I like Snowflake. So, but it's there in case anybody wants it. Yours to take. The next on the gap down list is something called NDRA, Endra Life Sciences. Only 280,000 shares, down 7%. Not loving the look of this thing. It's a look at how. There's basically no volume. You know what? I could just put this one right in the truck. Just back the truck up. We'll bring it over.
A lot of biotechs and medical things today. Not something typically on Thursday.
No, not at all. It is very rare to get them sort of midweek like this. Usually, it's sometimes Fridays, usually Mondays. Very rare you get the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, big biotech loads. So that's a little odd. Kroger. This is also one of those, earnings only type of traders. We down 3%, 200,000 shares traded. Once again, a nicey stock. So knowing that, I know that I don't usually base my opinion as to how well it's trading on the pre-market, because often the nicey stocks trade lower volume, especially one of these old brick and mortar type companies like Kroger. So that doesn't worry me as much as it would on another stock. Mike, I think looks like their earnings didn't go so well.
Correct. So they missed on earnings. It looks like missed on earnings per share, but met on revenue. So mixed earnings.
Okay.
And it's Kroger. Grocery stores.
I've watched Kroger in the past. I've traded Kroger. It is tradable, but it's not always easy. Every once in a while, you'll get a great trade on it. I've had a couple of awesome trades on Kroger, so I might be a little biased, but I have to acknowledge that for the most part, it does not trade well. So do what you will with that. If you want to watch it, great. I don't know. I'm sort of tempted. Maybe maybe I'm just being a softie, but I might want to watch Kroger.
I got you. So Harvey brings up a good point. You are correct in that the biotech sector has been strong lately. But again, when you're talking biotech stocks, as long as you are comfortable trading stocks that on a whim can drastically drop, let's use QURE today, simply by the FDA coming out overnight and saying, yeah, you're full of garbage with your estimates, then it's a good. But the biotech sector can give you great moves up. They're typically lower price stocks, so people tend to take higher shares. And in my opinion, unless you are a experienced trader, you put too much risk in them. I've seen so many new traders blow up their account by being like, "Ooh, look at me! I'm putting in my money into this biotech stock at $5. Look how much I got," and it goes up to 10. Oh yeah, look at all this money, and then 3 weeks later, it's down to $1 because the FDA came out, right? Boom! Now your account's gone. So yes, it's into the 52-week highs, but you have to be very, very, very particular about what biotech companies that you're gonna trade. Now, if you want to trade the ETF, now you got some security and you got some actual safety net, and you can manage your risk, I believe, better. But you get into those biotechs, they're typically low floats, and you can do damage to your account, so you have to be careful.
And it doesn't even take days or weeks. I mean, it can be minutes later where these things drop these big amounts. So yeah, Mike's absolutely right. You got to be careful on those. Keep an eye on them. All right. Looking at our gap down list, we have a couple of things that typically I just skip over. I see AG on here. That's one that you don't spend a lot of time on it. First Majestic Silver Corp. So they don't.
Silver moving.
Yeah, they don't trade very well. ONDS, which is a familiar ticker, we've seen that over the last few days, and it's made some interesting moves. But for my mind, it's in unpredictable spaces. Like, look at this yesterday. I mean, look at how it traded yesterday. It sort of had this drop off the open, and then sort of halved around down here, and then at the close, it went right back up. So sort of a little bit of weird trading. I mean, I guess you can get some moves. Keep in mind, $7 stock, so the entire move here was about $1 long. So you've got to be very well positioned, very strategically positioned to take full advantage of it. So if you like it, it's yours. I'm going to sort of push by it. What else, Mike? That was about it for earnings. I know you'll love this one. How about Build-A-Bear? They don't trade. They've got 50,000 shares traded. But Build-A-Bear Workshops had earnings. This is another one of these companies that I'm like, why? I'm amazed that they're independent and publicly traded. Like, this is not a big enough company, I would have thought. And I'm amazed that they still exist out there. I mean, this was big. When was Build-A-Bear big? It was like the 90s, maybe early 2000s. I feel like that's
you got
when
the Gappers list up, Peter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The other
All right,
screen.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that they do $120 million of revenue a quarter from their Build-A-Bear stuff. So, in event, not
take a look at
something we're gonna
Meta.
trade.
Something just came out on Meta.
All right, let's take a look
Chip.
at Meta.
I was about ready to head up to my
oh wow,
Mag 7 stocks.
Yeah, it's like a $30 move almost. What is happening on Meta?
So Meta shares, because the Zuckerberg is planning deep cuts to the company's metaverse efforts.
Oh,
So
okay.
If you work in metaverse, you're probably in trouble, because he probably finally got the clue that people aren't into the metaverse.
That it's not working, eh?
It's time to cut the research and development and put that money elsewhere.
Yeah, it was a thing. I've got to admit, I've got one of the Oculus things back here. I haven't taken it out of the box in 2 years, so it was cool at the time. It just didn't take. It still has some cool games in that, but when you wear it for a while and it gives you a headache, and you're like, you know what, I don't feel like doing this. But the fact that he's cutting it, I guess that's seen as good news. So because he's gonna preserve that money.
Remember when Meta was driving down, touching the $100 mark, and everybody's like, Facebook is going away. It was because he was investing so much in the metaverse, and investors didn't like it, but he was sold on it. And then he started saying, okay, I'm getting away from this. Stocks started recovering. So I just don't think investors like the metaverse. Like they don't see the value that I think Mark Zuckerberg sees.
Clearly not.
Every now and again, you make a bad decision. Like, just a minute.
Yeah, well, I clearly the metaverse just didn't have legs. Get it? Get it? Because the characters didn't have legs in the dad joke. I need a dad joke alert. Anyways, there you go.
Dad joke.
All right. Anyways, okay. Sorry, everyone. Had to do it. You're welcome, Megan. I know you're out there somewhere. Okay, guys, do you have anything else that we should look at that we haven't put on our list? I just took Kroger off the list and put Meta in there because I mean that $30 move is tough to ignore. If you guys have something else we should look at.
Tesla is going to be like typically, I mean, Tesla is going to be in play, I think, again. It's got a lot of volume that's going, so you're going to have to be patient in it. It did have that big move up yesterday. It's not really gapping up or gapping down. It's pretty flat, but if it picks a direction today with some volume, I think Tesla is going to be pretty decent because it's past this kind of breakout area yesterday. Broke out. Now we want to see if it can continue or if we're going to pull back, but it can provide some opportunities.
All right. I see on somebody's mentioning CAPR. What is this thing doing? Capricorn Therapeutics, another one of these biotechs. Now, low volume. It's down 2%, 240,000 shares. I don't see much of interest there, but thanks for mentioning it. Like you said, Mike, we got. So good.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna tell Tyler we covered Dollar General already.
Oh yeah, we did look at
miss. Nothing very good about it.
Yeah, there's a bunch out there. CRM, Snow, Dollar General, and Kroger that we all mentioned. I don't love any of them for my list. They're not trading well enough to jump up here, so we sort of pushed past them. We haven't mentioned the semiconductors yet today. Once again, yesterday, I just find I like the way they move. I feel comfortable trading them. I was watching Nvidia pretty much all day. I didn't end up getting a trade on it, but I certainly kept an eye on it. AMD, of course, as most most of you know, is one of my good friends. Not doing much here this morning. Actually, very low volume, only 300,000 shares on AMD, according to Nvidia, that at least has its usual 3 million shares traded. So, but not gapping all that much. Of course, I'm always going to be watching those, and I think you're right, Mike. Tesla. Yesterday we were watching Microsoft. I think that Microsoft was a tough trade. I was lucky to have gotten the trade I did out of it, I think, because really it just didn't cooperate. Ended up sort of going higher, in fact, more than it went down, and I did go short on it yesterday. But look how it sort of just ended up in this range. I'm not going to keep a special eye on Microsoft today. I think you're right that Tesla is probably a better bet if you want to watch something. All right, guys. With that, we're about 9 minutes after 9. We can take a look at what is going to be happening in the community. It's Thursday, and Thursday here for us means that we are going to be able to take a look at our mentorship stuff, and let's see what we've got going on. Let me bring up the schedule, and Mike, you can tell us what's happening here in the community.
So if you look forward to Lenny's mentorship program, you can email him and say, geez, I hope you're enjoying Thailand while I'm here in the snow and would like you to be here at 11 a.m. because I doubt Lenny's going to be there for his mentorship today. So, but if you're in Thailand, you will get some pretty good mentorship, one-on-one, talking with them over beers, Coronas, massages, yoga, and everything else that all of us are missing out here in this.
Wow, you're really feeling the lack of it. You're just calling it all out. You're picturing them at this massage bar where they're having a drink while getting a massage while looking at the surf. All right,
looking at the surf.
What a cool place.
I know, a wonderful place. And then. So we don't have that. Why do I have? Oh, Jared will have options mentorship today at noon, so he will be here for that. And then this evening we have Thor at 8 p.m. for the evening mentorship for his Thursday. So that's what we got going on today.
Carlos just in the chat room said, the massages are incredible. I just had my second one today. Wait. Do you mean your second massage of the day or your second of the trip? Either way, shut up. I mean, yes. Oh, I'm glad you're having fun. All right.
I think I'm going to plan a massage this weekend just because of that.
All right.
I think I'm going to go get one just because of that right before I go to the DR.
You know what?
I'm going to look for one in the DR on the beach while I have a Presidente, Carlos, and I'm going to take a picture and send it to you.
You know what the problem is, Mike? If you do it and you go to one of those Thai massage places, you know, you're gonna think it's a good idea, and then you're gonna walk in, and the place is gonna be run down and a little sad, and they're gonna have a couple of the decorations there, and the people will be unenthusiastic, and you're gonna be like, "This sucks. This is not what I was looking for." So,
that's true.
I don't mean to disparage all Thai massage places. I'm sure there's some lovely ones out there, but generally, they're not the best places.
Not the same kind.
Yeah. Anyway,
so Island Bull is asking about Jared's webinar. So we are gonna do it tomorrow, next week. Let me see if Jared replied to me. 7 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday. I will get up the schedule. I'll update it. So next Tuesday, we're going to actually have 2 webinars for you now. We'll have Jared's at 7 p.m. and then we'll have for U.S. traders, our tax accountant coming in that specializes in day trading taxes for you. So
there you go. Justin is saying, Peter, how do you know so much about them? Look, I know a lot of things about a lot of things, but yes. It's funny you say that. I always, when I think Thai massage places, oddly, I think of a little place called Győr, which is in Hungary, just off of the Slovakian border. And my wife and I stopped there on a trip that we were doing. Győr, Győr. It is the middle of freaking nowhere, hungry. And this little town, every second shop seemed to be a Thai massage place. And we were busy asking ourselves, what happened in this town that they had an influx at some point, apparently, of Thai masseuses to create all these, and the customers, I guess, that consume them. Like it seemed like an inordinate number of Thai massage places for the little town of Gior. So, in any event, all right, random story for you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's my bad.
By all the fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm always having fun out here. All right, guys. We do have our Cyber Monday deal that if you look at the countdown timer, there is only 46 minutes left. So if you're going to take advantage of those deals, you've got to do it quick. The Cyber Monday offer on the left here is the best one. At $29.99, you can get the boot camp. You get a year's access. You get the funded trading account that could pay for everything. And, of course, you get access to all of the educational material that we've got in our community. It's a great opportunity. There'll be more stuff that you can do over the course of the year. It's really a great deal. And if you take advantage of it now, you don't have to jump into the boot camp right in January. I had this question yesterday. Hey, could I do a later camp? Absolutely. You could sign up for the May camp or the September camp, right? You could sort of do it any time in 2026. So if you want to lock in that price, now's the time to do it. The other two offers, of course, are great if you're looking to just join the community. If you're not ready for that, don't worry about it, right? You don't have to. You can go with any of our standard offers from the intro, which just gives you a 1 week access. Just check out the community, see if you like it, see if there's enough dad jokes for you. Maybe you want to start contributing some. Plus, of course, all the trading advice and support that you could hope for. So it's really a great community. We got some great people. Just go to bearabletraders.com and you can find the information. I'm at the bottom of the webinars page, but you can get this from the main page as well. All right, get in there, get them while they're hot.
Actually, false news, Peter. You can only get that Cyber Monday deal on the webinars page.
Oh, only on the webinars?
Because I was on the homepage and I'm like, how's Peter have all that? So it's going.
Okay, well, there you go. Then, you see it here. It's got a countdown. If you log in right now and something happens, you can't get it, you email me. We'll make sure you get that deal because it's advertised. We promise it. So there you go. So only on the webinars page. You got to go to Bear Bull Traders and click on webinars. You will find it. It's there. That means we are going to offer it. We will honor it. All right. Let's take a look at where we're going to put some levels. I'm going to focus on a couple of these things that we had, like Meta. Let's start there. Like this big move. My God, it's a $40 move now as Meta continues to run and gun here. I mean, look at on the daily. This puts it in a great spot. I love this area here because look, we are into this gap. I'm going to put a couple of levels to the tops here that we've got to keep an eye on. The lower wick of this candle was $690.51. I'm going to want to make sure that I've got my level right here at 690.50. I'm also going to put another level just a little bit higher than that because I can see like that level is important because look back here in August, right? We hit pretty much right on that same area, but then we've got another area of support up here. It's, well, no surprise, right at the whole dollar number of 700. So if it keeps going, we'll be ready to the top side. Well, on the downside, we obviously have the room that it just consumed in the last couple of minutes all the way down to yesterday's the previous 2 days highs and lows, which bracket the price. The 2-day highs are down here at 648, 649. So that gives you an idea to the downside. And frankly, there's not a lot in between because let's look at a 60-minute chart, right? I mean, this is such a big gap up. We just haven't been trading in this area for quite a while. In fact, it was October last time we were here, and I don't see a lot of levels to really recommend it. So I don't think you've got to worry about that. I think we'll this is in play. I don't know where Meta's going to go at the open. There's a big risk, guys. Just because it's gapping up like this, don't assume it's a long. It could very well be that when the big money comes in, they decide that this jump was overdone and they could take it back down lower. But I don't know. I don't know either way, but I'll be watching it to see what happens. The next one that we had here was HIMS. HIMS, we'll go to the daily here and take a look. Here we are sitting at $38 price right now. Well, I've got to mark right up here around $39.90. In fact, I want to go a little bit lower than that because the high here was 39.88. So I'm going to put this at 39.85 because I want to be warned if and when the price gets there that we're likely to see some resistance. I think a little bit higher we can see here where there was it was support earlier will become resistance up at about $41 or just under. So that's good to the top side. To the downside, I've got the highs and lows of the previous 2 days because we were trading lower over the last couple of days. That gives me some bracketed prices for HIMs. We had a couple of these sort of popcorn-ish stocks, right? The QURE, which I don't know what it's going to do. It's was down about 22% earlier. I see it's moved up a little bit. It's only down 19% now, but it's below this price consolidation range it had been in for the entire month of November. We're heading back perhaps to prices that we were at in September. If I look over here, look at the highs here, $18.40. So I definitely want a level here. I'm going to put this at 18.40 so that I can keep an eye on that. And then, of course, we got the low of the day, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, which is down at $17 that it hit really early this morning on that spike. So, and like we said, look at the high and low. The close yesterday and the low this morning were right in the middle of that. This thing's got range. I'm always nervous about these types of stocks, but if it's the type of thing you like, it doesn't look all that bad. 1.3 million shares traded so far. And of course, I've got to mention Polyryzen. I always get that wrong. Polyryzen. PLRZ, which has just been a consistent presence on our list here this week for whatever reason. It just won't go away. Gapping up again this morning. Remember, this was just a $3 stock last week. Now we're up at $16, having moved through a couple of different ranges. Where is this thing likely to go? I really have no idea. I mean, you've got to go back a ways to find levels that match this price, and it wasn't there for very long. So frankly, I'm not even going to mark any levels on it, quite honestly. If you look at a 5-minute chart, I think if the high of pre-market, right, is a good enough level at 2140, yesterday's close and high, right, are down to the downside of this thing. I think we just got to wait and see what this thing is going to do, if anything. I'll watch it. I can 99.9% guarantee you I'm not going to be trading this thing. But if you are, then maybe you can catch a move. We also mentioned Tesla, which, as Mike pointed out, I do think it's got some good range. It's been trapped in this area. Remember, I still have lots of levels set. I really don't have to do a lot of work to prep for it. But I keep an eye. Where is it? Where has it been? It's definitely been increasing over the last 2 weeks as it's been moving higher. And you can see on a 60-minute chart, just how consistent this move higher has been. So Tesla heading back towards that 450 range, and I like it. I don't know what it's going to do today, but I like where it sits. So that's what I've got for levels and ranges today. It's feeling. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just feeling unreasonably enthusiastic, Mike, but I feel like we're going to have a good day. Yesterday was not so good. Monday, Tuesday were pretty good. I don't know. I'm hopeful. So let's see how hopeful our moderators are. What are they taking a look at?
So we have Thor for his futures watching the why can't I think of it? We'll just say SPY. It's not the SPY, but I just can't think of it. NASDAQ, Russell, and gold. And then equities, he'll be watching Apple and Google and Mara. Megan is trading live with PCT this morning, basically covering me because I'm here with you all. Brendan is looking at AMD, Nvidia, PLTR, Tesla, and MSTR. Jared's watching Meta and Snow with a secondary on GME. Interesting. Didn't even have that one. CRM is the secondary. I'll be watching Meta, Nvidia along with my scanners. Andrew is watching Meta, Nvidia, Tesla. He's already in Meta at 671. So I'm assuming he's long, not short. Brian will be Tesla, Nvidia, QURE, Meta, SPY, and the Qs.
I hope he's long. Yes.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm like 100% sure that he's long.
Yeah, it's Andrew. He's usually a long trader, and he's usually on the right side of these things. So, Yeah, most likely. Well, I mean, you've got to watch Meta. After this move, this is very significant. So this is a big jump up. I don't know what it's going to do at the open, but it's absolutely worth watching. So, guys, we've got about 7.5 minutes here to the open, and we're doing pretty good. I think things are setting up fairly well. I like where we're hanging out here, and I haven't had any pictures from Thailand. Did they have a quiet day yesterday? I'm looking for you guys who are there, maybe in the chat room. Are you out trading? Are you like all dead? Are you at the bar? What's happening? I feel like we haven't got a lot of news out of Thailand.
Yeah. Well, we know how that goes, Peter.
Yeah, I know. Especially as the trip goes on, right? You get less diligent at the stuff that you said you were going to do. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be focused. I'll be trading every day. And maybe the first day you're like trading, and then you're like, maybe not.
No, maybe not.
Maybe, yeah. How about a nice late night walk on the beach? That sounds like a good thing to do.
You realize that trading at 9:30 at night is not as fun as you thought it would.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I mean, the bar's open, and
after you've been scuba diving, massages on the beach.
That's right.
Like 9:30 is like,
put some aloe on the burns. It's and that's true. You'll use any excuse, right? The internet's slightly slow. You're like, oh, can't trade. Internet's down. Nothing I can do. So yeah, actually they posted a group. I can't remember if I put this group picture up yesterday for everybody, but this is a new one because they had a group
this
picture.
Is a new one.
Yeah, they had a group picture on the beach, and where is it? Come on. And looks like they're dressed for the evening, dressed for dinner here. Look at this lovely looking group right there, huh? Yeah. Look at these guys all out there having a blast. So it's Mike and I have a lot of regret. A lot of regret. But oh well, you know what? We're back here. We're trading. I had some good trades. Hey, I'm making money, so at least that's something I can fund the next trip. And these guys. Look at the guys that are having the most fun. They're right here. Look at these three characters in the middle here. That's their sort of normal state when you go on these trips. Honestly, I've been on a lot of these. That's basically them the whole time. Paris is amazed by everything he sees in the world. He thinks everything is just so fun and exciting. He's like a really, really smart 5-year-old out there. I love him. He's great. So, anyways, and of course Brian, who's got his boundless enthusiasm, and Andrew, who you just never know, right? He's Mr. Unpredictable, and we love him for it. So, all right, it looks photoshopped. It does, doesn't it? Like, doesn't that look like they're standing before like a backdrop, or they had a green screen or something? But no, I mean they really were standing on some overlook. I'm pretty confident of that. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, and you
not
can tell
but disappointed that I'm not there.
Yeah,
so sad.
I can tell the internet's slow because Carlos is loading pictures into the chat room, and they look like they're taking forever to download. In fact, the one that he put there halfway downloaded and then didn't finish the job. Look at this. I even I'll call it up here for you guys because we have a couple of minutes, so I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Is it downloading? I can't even download it from the website because it hasn't downloaded. So here, it's coming slowly. Here we go. There you go. Andrew, he's trading from the. It looks like he's trading from the cafeteria or something right now. So, all right, so much fun. All right, guys. let's get focused here on our trading activities. I think we're going to be handing it off to Andrew and Brian, who's going to be trading from the Thailand and from the room there, and we will continue here on YouTube. Just be careful out there in Meta, guys. I don't know what it's going to do. It's pretty exciting here this morning, but don't make any drastic assumptions. Let the price action dictate. Let's go.
Let it do its thing.
Yeah. All right. So Meta absolutely is going to be on my list. I'm going to put a couple of these other things here. We talked about QURE. Whoops. QURE. I'm going to put it over here. PLRZ. Just because. HIMS. We got so much potential to watch here. Good buddy AMD. We've got Tesla. Nvidia. I don't really have anything lined up for the open though. I don't know what to do with Meta. I would watch Meta. I don't know. I would watch Meta for a potential long, I think.
I'm interested to see what it does at 691. Once it fills this gap.
Well,
right?
So that's you're making an assumption it's getting that high, but you're right. I got that level that we put at 690.50. If it gets up there, you're right. It could very well go all the way to 700. I mean, that's such an enticing target, isn't it? So it might very well.
Because it got above, right? If we look on the daily, right? If we can look on the daily, it got above October 30th, right? And we're playing with the highs there. So if we get back above 680, 681, we're basically in the gap area. So do we want to push to that gap low that was on October 6th, or are we going to reject? So I think in there it's going to be fun to play with. Got to look at it, but those are the areas that I'm looking at.
We got 40 seconds to the open. I'm absolutely going to be watching Meta here. What is happening? Why are my charts not changing? I don't like that. I don't like it when that happens. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to get rid of some of my windows here to reduce the load on my device. And I'm not going to presume to know which direction it's going to go when the opening bell rings, but I'll keep an eye on it. And if it does do something interesting, I'll be ready to jump in. All right. Here's the bell, guys.
Here we go.
And we're getting a little bit of a pull back here on Meta. Not surprising in the opening seconds. This is partly what I expect. Again, I just don't know whether it's going to continue lower or is it going to jump higher? So so far, no sign of moving higher. I'm looking at the orders on Meta. They are downside. They are loaded to the downside here. So, looking at Atlas here on Trading Terminal, it's a little uncertain. The close orders are to the downside. The really big orders, though, Mike, like you were pointing at, are much higher on the price. So it depends on how aggressively this thing can move. In the short term, it looks like 665 has got a whole bunch of orders that it's going to right now. Let's see if it go take those out. Yeah, it might have been a good bet on the short right off the open, just because, it was likely that it was to pull back, and then you could wait and see what's going to happen next. But I didn't want to jump in on a presumption, because that just would have been, I just would have been guessing, but an educated guess, but still a guess. So, Kumar, you're short PLTR, and you're watching Marvell? MRVL. What's Marvell doing? Oh, wow. It popped up here.
Wow.
I mean, it's not it's a $2 move, so it looks huge on the chart here, but it's not that significant. But yeah, it's a good move, especially if you're long. On the other hand, Kumar's saying he's short PLTR. Well, that's good, depending where you got in. If you got in a previous day close, you're liking where it sits right now. So not so bad. Meanwhile, Meta continues to leak off here a little bit. So looks like, at least in the immediate term, the deep pockets are saying, yeah, you might have overdid that pop up there, lads. It's you got a little over enthusiastic. Let's bring you back down to earth. It's not the only thing that's dropping, though. The markets have moved down off the open as well.
Microsoft's popping.
Yeah, Tesla's moving down. Microsoft, let's look at that. Microsoft is moving higher.
Up.
Yeah. So
what's their daily look like? Microsoft.
Put Meta over here so I can just keep an eye on it.
Microsoft is. I don't really like where Microsoft is on the daily.
No, no, it's not great. Let's go back and keep an eye on Meta. I think it's the most interesting thing right now.
Yeah. I think Microsoft's going to chop around for a while.
What else are you guys
AMD.
You guys yeah, AMD's not doing anything interesting yet, although if it goes green, that might be interesting. Meta. Now I sort of wish I'd maybe just taken the flyer and gone short. But, you know, hindsight being what it is.
Yeah, but that was a strong move up. You need at least a signal, not just,
right.
Oh, I think this is going to go down.
See, I don't like to guess like that. I've been caught too many times. Sometimes it works, and then you can sort of get that false positive, right? Like you think you're getting confirmation when really it's just recency bias, right? Like that's why we always advise, and one of the things we talk about in boot camp. Sorry to promote that again, but it's about creating a data set that you can analyze, right, and really go through. And I always use the example. I'm a car guy, so if you ever bought a new car, or you're looking at a new car, and then suddenly it feels like every car you see is that car on the road, especially in the color that you're looking for. It's just that recency bias, because suddenly you're looking for it, and it feels like you get this confirmation. There isn't suddenly a lot more cars of that make and model and color on the road, but you're attuned to it, so you're watching for it, and you're sort of ignoring all the other vehicles. The same thing can happen in trading.
Amazon.
What are you looking at? Amazon? Oh wow. Amazon's really selling off. Yeah, what's prompted that move?
Well, the SPY's selling too.
No, that's true. Actually, if you look at the overall market, look at the SPY pulling down hard. Went through the previous day close here, and
that's a lot though on Amazon.
Yep.
I do have a level on Amazon at 230 where it's the last few days has kind of bounced off this 230.
Well, it's a good whole number for it to bounce off of, and looks like Meta in the short term got some support at 260. Meta's moving in big ranges today. You know, these candles look small, but keep in mind, see this little white candle that we're working on right now? That's a $5 candle. You know, so don't
candle, but
don't let that fool you. Like this opening candle here, that was what was that? $11. So yeah, it's making some moves here.
It's on down. SPY went all the way down to previous day close and then is recovering. Tesla down to previous day close and bouncing. Nvidia kind of doing the same.
Look at that bounce on Tesla. That's crazy.
That is very, very, very crazy on Tesla.
Somebody's long PLTR now. What's PLTR? Oh, it did bounce back here.
So I'm long Nvidia.
Oh, Mike is long Nvidia. You know what I didn't even do? I didn't even enable.
Taking a partial on this pop of 182.
See if we got Mike's trade. No, he's on Meta on his screen.
Oh, sorry. Here, let
That's
me
okay.
swap over. I have two that I trade off of, so I thought I had it on this one. The video. There you go. Let's see if we can hold this level. We're getting stopped out at break even like the last couple days.
I'm still I'm still seeing Meta on your chart.
Oh, you are? Sorry, let me take a partial. Oh, no.
That's okay. Do your thing. You take the trade first.
There you go.
There it is.
Didn't get a great fill. I wanted it up at 82.40, but that's all right. There you go. Oh, put the stop back in there. Very important.
There he is. And there. Now I can get Mike's screen up here.
Hopefully previous day close.
There it is. You can see Mike's trade up there now. So
yeah, I wanted the partial higher on that second one. But
all right.
The fill was not where you heard me.
Yep.
Because the price action was there, and when I pressed the partial button, it gave me like a limit order below it. I'm like, what's going on? No. Next partial will be up here. If we hit R4, because it's always good to partial at R4. So that you don't get caught in one of Thor's cam trades to the downside. That's how I kind of equate it. There's the partial at R4.
Nice. Nice. Good tippy top of the candle there. I like that.
I'm telling you that R4 can always kind of get you. So see if we can't get up to 183. If it makes a new 1 minute low, I will take off probably half my position and then just leave the rest to break even. Man, look at that 5 minute candle on Nvidia. Oh, man. Look at that thing. That's a $2 5 minute.
It's moving well today.
I'm anticipating some type of a pullback, at least a little bit here. So there are some orders up at 185, so that's kind of where I'm targeting. But I've seen this too many times at R4. So there's the partial that I said that I'll take off, and then move the rest to break even. This is actually kind of one of my new things I am implementing in this next, what we call in boot camp strategy sets. Is before I used to get all out on a new 1 minute low on a big push up like this. But I decided that I want to see what the profitability comes out as if I take half off and then stay in it, because I was noticing a lot of times when I'd get a good, decent move that I would get out and it's just a natural pullback. and I would still be in the trade for the larger move.
Right.
So I started taking half off and then moved to stop break even, and then we'll see how it goes. So my target on this is 185. That's where I want to get to. So maybe we'll sit back and wait.
All right. I mean, often you do get these pullbacks, and it doesn't mean the move's over. You're just getting sort of that natural, sort of support retest, ABCD patterns, people call them, whatever you want. It's all reasonable.
So we'll take 20 trades following this plan, and we'll compare it to last plan and see if it's worth anything.
And there you go. And that's the way you do it. Creating the data set that we were talking about from earlier.
Yep. And then make a decision. Do you want to keep it or don't you? And I think a lot of times, right, Peter, we forget the psychology that plays into this as well, right? Just because the data tells you should do something doesn't mean that you can necessarily handle it, right?
True.
So, like all or none, right? Thor's all about all or none. Well, Thor has been able to do that over the course of his trading career and build that confidence,
right?
To be able to do all or none. Before, he used to take partials like the rest of us, right? And then he was able to build the confidence through his data sets to say, you know what, I'm more comfortable taking some losses because I know I'll make more money on the long run.
Yep. And that's hard to do. It's hard to really sort of change that perspective, especially if you want to move to, which a lot of traders do over time, you move to the longer sort of hold trades where, you're willing to suffer the rise and fall of a stock as it sort of winds its way towards your goal. Because nothing, doesn't usually move in a straight line. It likes to move in these serpentine patterns, which makes it tough, if you're holding, because you're watching your unrealized P&L go up and down, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Like, right now, Mike might have sacrificed some opportunity because, then he's going to look, you could say, oh, geez, look, he should have gotten all out, right, up there, rather than let it stop out. That's in this one instance. On average, well, until he runs the data, you don't know what actually makes sense. So, but it's harder to hold because... and I do the same thing. I always keep a little bit of partial in case it makes the big move, because I've learned even if it only makes that big move 10% of the time, it pays for the other 90% that stop out, because it's just such a big move that it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna get stopped out here unless we get a big bounce right now.
It could. I mean, your stop is at the right level. Yeah, but your entry, and this is the other thing too. If your entry's in this case, your entry happens to be at the right level, but sometimes your stop, if it's at a good technical level, then it might work. Because if you look at the high it hit twice in the pre-market, right before the open, and then back around 910, right? This is clearly an area that was resistance before that could very well become support. So it might just bounce there, not just by chance, because this is an area of significance for today. So I mean, there's no guarantee it will. It paused momentarily, but yeah, it could. You're so close, eh, Mike?
Pennies.
I know. I had this yesterday at Microsoft, if you remember, right? It came right back up within pennies of my entry, and then went all the way back down to the low of day, and I got another partial, and that happens. And no, in this case though, you're out. So
yeah, in this case, I'm out. It's okay though. This is why we do it. Collect data, screenshot. Yep. This is what we want.
All good.
Green. And my screen isn't frozen, Peter. I'm just taking a screenshot. So.
Yeah, no, I figured that's what you were doing.
Today's the 3rd, right?
It's the 4th.
There we go. Oh, it's the 4th. I'll edit the date here in a second. All right, so good trade on that. I'm very happy with that trade.
It is the 4th, and I kept thinking, it's funny, Mike. I kept thinking, why is the fourth significant? Why do I have the? I had a
May
dentist
4th.
appointment. Well, I had a
Oh,
dentist appointment scheduled for today, and with Carlos not being here, I realized I got to be here to run the show. So I had to go and cancel it, but it's still stuck in my head that I had this big dentist appointment on the 4th. But now I had
it's
to
like
move it out.
me yesterday with the time. Like it was so. I still can't believe I screwed that up yesterday.
Yeah, we're lucky that
You
we
get it in your
Megan.
mind, and
Yeah,
man,
we're lucky Megan was there. She had your back. She really took over. So
yes.
that's perfect.
Whoops. Not our fault is not above 90.
All right.
Retest.
Some of the stuff that we're watching here outside of the Nvidia, Meta has sort of calmed down here. Looks like 660 areas where it's going to hang out for the time being, anyways. PLRZ that we were looking at hasn't done a lot, really. It's sort of bouncing in a range here. So this thing could take off at any moment, but so far it's not doing much. And the other one that was sort of the popcorn stock was the QURE, which did, after a couple of minutes, get a move higher, but they came right back down and also not doing all that much. So despite the couple of big movers, of course, of which Meta is the most significant, has been a huge morning. Nvidia was not a bad move higher. Tesla also got a move higher. It's actually pretty close to the high of day right now. But as you can see, just by looking at this chart, right, a lot of pullbacks. Like it wasn't a clean move. You went up and retraced a good portion of it up and retraced half of it. It seems like that's the pattern that it's making right now. Haven't really looked at AMD. AMD is pretty ugly, actually. New user 7066. Look at that. That looks really ugly to me. These overlapping candles, right? Really sort of choppy. That's a super hard trade. I would be avoiding AMD right at the moment. And Jonathan, quickly, you're looking at Path. You have $ Path there. Just Path. Yeah, it little bit more consistent of a move higher. Decent volume too. It's already traded over its average volume for the day. So we did talk about this in the pre-market show just a little bit. The UI path. It's not bad. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? In fact, maybe I'll replace because the other one that I was looking at was HIMS. It also that looks pretty ugly. Not doing anything there. So you know what? I think I'm going to take HIMS out. I'm going to put Path here. It does look a little bit better. Meanwhile,
You gotta love the R4 to R3, R3 to R4, back to R3 on Nvidia. I love it.
let's go to your chart there on Nvidia.
I don't have it on that one. Here, let me move this over for you, Peter. Let me move this one over. I was making it clean. R3
okay.
to R4, back to R3, back to R4.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So, creating a range.
And you weren't wrong about that movement and the bounce that it could make. It just your stop, took you out before you could take advantage of it. And sometimes
that's the way it goes.
Exactly.
Nothing. That's why we collect the data set.
Yeah. Okay, so Meta's still bouncing here again. These candles are bigger than they look. This little candle here, $2 range. The spread, it's okay. I see the spread on Meta's around 30 cents. That seems to be about on average what it is. So just be careful on it. You need a little bit of movement for it to be able to overcome that spread.
What do we got with AMD here? AMD looks terrible.
Yeah, AMD is pretty ugly. I know somebody mentioned that here, and I mean it's dropping now, but oh man, yeah, it does not look good. Oh,
Nvidia
sorry,
at
I keep
least
forgetting I don't have it
looks.
on the screen there.
Yeah. Yes. Yuck.
And what about Amazon? I don't know. Let's take a look at Amazon. Mike did mention Amazon earlier. Yeah, look at that.
Let's see.
Just a consistent sell off for Amazon. Not a fast mover, but boy, if you were taking it short, it's doesn't look like it has any intention of turning around at this point.
No. Once it lost, so on my screen, you can see the blue line is today's lower expected move, and the green line is kind of a big buyer that I identified. And my pre-market analysis. So yeah, Amazon could definitely sell for today.
Mm.
It is interesting today. Nvidia is trying to find support at the pre-market high, but not having. And I ran out of coffee. Dang.
And I ran out of coffee.
Ah,
Well, that's never good.
I'm hoping Brian brings me back a Thailand mug from Starbucks. He said he would. So.
Well, maybe he will.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
But don't you only want them like if you got them? Like it's not.
Yeah, but I've been to Thailand, but I've spent like
That's
I
true.
want them if I've been there, right?
Okay.
So they didn't have Starbucks cups when I went to Thailand, right? So
Right.
but I've spent a month in Thailand, so I'm okay with somebody else buying me a cup so that I don't got to go back to Thailand. Right?
All right. Okay, that's fair because yes, you'd already been there. From what you were telling me though, it wasn't. You don't have great memories of Thailand, only because you weren't doing the tourist trip.
Oh no, I have great memories of Thailand.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought.
And some bad memories of Thailand. I got a little
Okay.
mixture of both in there. I
Okay.
got work, but then I also have
Yeah.
fun memories.
Okay.
I also know that I will never go back to Thailand without my wife. So
Okay.
my wife is like, you will never go there without me. Like, okay, we can go. That place is evil.
Evil. Wow.
Evil.
That's I
And
found.
then there's the really nice spot that Andrew and everybody's at. That's the nice spot. That's where I want to go.
Well,
back to.
there. I mean, like most countries, there's good spots and bad spots. I've been to some of both myself. I spent time at went with some friends to Phuket, and we stayed at the Royal Phuket Yacht Club, which was a lovely spot, as you might imagine.
Oh yes, I've been to Phuket before, and I can imagine that awesome hotel.
I mean, there's some seedy areas there too, but we were where we were at the Royal Yacht Club, of course, as you could imagine, was not. And I was one of those. I got there, I checked in late, and I was like, I got this. They called it the honeymoon suite, and it was. I had a dining room, I had 2 living rooms, I had this balcony that was as big as the entire apartment that I was in, that had its own kitchen and dining room on it and living room. This place was amazing. Anyways, that room was just phenomenal that I was in, and it was just such a great time because I went over Easter with some friends when I was living in Australia, and they had their girls with them, and we did a whole. I probably told this tale, but quickly, we did an Easter egg hunt, and I'm a Canadian, And I thought it was so cool having this giant balcony, and that I could hide the Easter eggs. So I hid them in the unit. I hid them out on the balcony in the living room and the dining room and stuff. What I didn't consider is I hid everything at like 6 a.m. before we went for breakfast, and then we went and had a nice leisurely breakfast and came back, and I surprised the girls with an Easter egg hunt. Well, what happens if you put chocolate Easter eggs outdoors in Thailand when the sun comes up?
Nope.
Yeah. So the girls were finding these Easter eggs, and they were, of course, in foil, but these melted blobs of chocolate in foil, and they ended up covered in chocolate because as soon as you touch it, it would start to melt. So they had no choice but to eat it. So they were sucking all this melted chocolate. It was everywhere. It was awesome because they weren't my kids. So I got them all dirty. But hey, we're on vacation, right? They're like, you know what? Just go jump in the ocean. You'll be fine.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. Anyways, great memories.
Meta.
Those girls are adults now, by the way. The little girls that had this. But oh,
Yes, adults.
Doing their
I
adulting
cannot.
things.
Ooh, Tesla pulling back from the highs. It did push up.
Yeah. I was watching that Meta too. I was looking at Meta here. Is it again? It's bouncing now. It's got this range, $5 range here between 660, 665. So,
Like, where'd my chart go?
it's
Nvidia sold off. Got back up.
yeah. Yeah, so no, I don't have any trades yet this morning, guys, and I'm okay with that. This is a day where there were certainly things that moved, but I'm not a momentum trader like that, right? I don't typically trade that momentum. I've thought about trying to develop a strategy that allows me to take advantage of these moves, because of course they happen every day. But I've got other trades and other moves that I like that I keep an eye on. So looks like the way
Apple's
things are
selling
shaping up.
too.
The way things are shaping up this morning, it's going to be a little while before my trade set up. But things like Apple and Amazon are the ones that are currently setting up because they're moving consistently in a direction. It happens to be down. So I'd want to see if we can get maybe a bounce at the low and then take a long on them. But right now, the market isn't yet supporting that, as the market still looks a little weak.
Tesla's trading against the market today.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, overall. Although the SPY is getting a little bit of bounce here. Look, it hit a low, and then it's bounced up and now retested that a little bit lower. But again, it still feels weak to me, so we'll see what happens and where things go.
Nvidia gave back all that big candle. Wow. Should have shorted up there too.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but not a setup for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if I can. Yeah. Hey, Cooper's Movers finally contacted me back. That's very important.
Oh yes, your
I
key.
scheduled these
your
movers.
code.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I scheduled these movers through U-Haul, and I like a week ago, and they've never contacted me. So I called them yesterday and only got a message service. I'm like, well, I sure hope I got movers because I don't want to move all this crap by myself. My daughter's even like, here's what my daughter said when we were like, hey, you want to come back for the weekend? She goes, no, it's going to snow up here, so I don't want to drive here. I'm like, that's not the truth. She's like, yeah, it's supposed to snow. I'm like, there's a 5% chance. You just don't want to come help move, do you? And she's like, well, yeah, duh. I'm like, okay, I got you. She's like, I'll see you in a week, Dad.
Yeah, when you're in college, you do enough moving of you and your friends. The last thing you want to do is help your parents move, right? Like, I know,
Yeah.
I know. I said when my kids were in college. At one point, I had three in college, and like every year, I had to do at least three moves because they would, they'd be moving into a new place, and yeah, there was you moved a lot of furniture over time.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that me and my wife move every what, twice a year now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
move in, move out, move in, move out. It's
You gotta,
actually four times. It's like move in, move out, travel, move in, move out, move in, move out. Yeah,
yeah,
it's bad. We'll see. I think my wife wants to go to Florida though this year.
really.
Yeah, I think she wants to stay there. She has this like crazy idea that if I move there and stay in a high rise in Fort Lauderdale, that the humidity and the heat will somehow convince me that I never want to go back to Florida.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do that for you.
Right.
And I have the opposite. I'm hoping to move there to convince her that
Yeah, I was gonna say.
East Coast time is the best and close to your family, so we should never move back to California.
Yeah, I thought it was always your objective to move to Florida. So hey, like if she's willing to test it out, you can see who's right. The truth is probably going to
Yeah,
be somewhere in the middle, right? You're both going to find things you like and things you hate. So I'm willing to bet. So.
exactly.
But Fort Lauderdale is that where you would go?
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale, since
That's
it's
not
right
a
there by Miami,
right. Yeah,
so
it's not a bad area to go.
easy to get around is what I like about it.
Mm. You just have to worry about the spring breakers, I guess.
Yeah, but then you just move or you leave. Actually, I'd enjoy partying with the spring breakers. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. I'll be the creepy old guy.
Most of them they're so gone they don't even know.
Yeah. I want to know where my money is in BetMGM right now.
I always say that, Mike, at this age that we're at, it's tough. It's tough being this age because we're not young enough to be part of the young hot crew remotely anymore, but we're not old enough yet to be harmless. So we are in that creepy middle-aged man,
Yep.
age. So it's it's just where it is. All right, I am watching the markets here, watching them sort of bounce at the lower. Meta also has done that, as it's hit a low mark and bouncing back. Let's see if we can get up to VWAP here around 669. So uh, talking with Carlos here in YouTube. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think Mike was talking about a different type of fun. Well. You guys are great. All right, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Those likes help the growth of the channel. And
I am not happy.
and why are you not happy, Mike?
Oh, I'm looking at something that I should have some money and I don't have money in my account. It's not something that I'm happy about right now. Oh well, I'll deal with it here in a little bit.
Well, that's the way it goes. All right, so Meta still trundling its way here, maybe towards the VWAP. The SPY has stopped going down. As I said, it doesn't look like it wants to reverse quite yet, but it's at least stopped losing altitude. That means things like Apple, that we were keeping an eye on hit a temporary low and is bouncing back. This is not actually what I wanted to see, to be honest, because it's doing that a little early, and I really wanted a later bounce off of the low, and then we can get my retest, and then I can go long. But it looks like I might not get that. Amazon also, sort of hitting this low. Now, Amazon's a tougher one just because look how shallow that move is, right? It doesn't typically move with a lot of aggression. So Amazon, I find, is a tougher trade most days. So Tesla, on the other hand, is it looks like it's sort of just died off. It's moving sideways here, and of course Nvidia that Mike was trading earlier lost all of that height that it's got back towards the low, although it's not quite there yet, but it's at least back at this area where it was sort of at its lowest at 935 this morning. So anything below 180, and we're going to set a new low of day, and that'll be then we might be setting some direction at that point. So I'm still sitting, waiting and watching for my opportunity to trade. And I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get an opportunity to trade today, but usually I do. I just have to be patient. It just might not happen while we're here live together, right? It's later in the day is often when I get my move opportunities, and I just have to be vigilant and patient with it. So. Okay. Yeah. Keeping an eye on the market. Mike's typing away, it looks like, on his phone. I know what that looks like.
You never know. It's never good when you don't see money, so I'm sending a message to the people.
There you go. Partial Nvidia long, Chris MC. You're really Nvidia long. You're back into your scalping mode, are you? Yeah, got a little bit of a bounce there. If you're making money at it, then all power to you. Michelle, you're seeing Amazon at the daily 50. Let's see here on the daily. Oh, I always forget. I don't have those moving averages. Let's see if I wait. It is on the 50 daily. That's the red line here. You can see that it's right at that 50 MA. You are correct.
Nvidia back down to this level where it bounced off of, but I'm not liking it.
No. James, you're saying Intel. I haven't even looked at Intel today. It's a clean down. Oh yeah, it's pretty clean in a channel, it looks like, eh? Look at that structured channel there. You can pretty much set some if I was to draw some lines here, right? You can draw a line there and draw another line here. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Look at that. Just broke to the top side of that channel, but what a clean channel that Intel set today. And Chris, there's nothing wrong with that, right? If sometimes if something works, it may not be the thing that you think. I mean, I thought I was going to be an open trader like Andrew when I started, and it took me years to realize that's not, at least yet to this point, that is not where my expertise has lied, right? I just have not been able to make that work for me. So, it's the way life goes sometimes. The important thing is to stick with it and find what you are good at. And don't be afraid to change your perspective, change that point of view, right? So that you can take advantage of the stuff that does work for you. Micron, I see you're saying is for reversal. Maybe. I don't know. I don't see a great sign on it. I mean, when it set that bottom, it did sort of set a double bottom, but not a strong enough type of move that I would normally take advantage of. So makes it tough for me. I like Meta here. It did do what we were talking about. Look at that. It did go back to the VWAP right off that 669 area I was talking about. Hit that. Moved back down. So that's Fire Guy. You are watching Hims, eh? Oh yeah. Hims making a little bit of a move higher. Ugh, that chart frightens me. I don't like the look of that chart. You might get you did get through. Look at that. Through your target. McGarnagle. What an awesome name. Is that like actually your last name, or is that just a name you made up? It sounds cool. I might not be saying it right. Cool. I don't know if I'm even saying it correctly, but I like the way it sounds when I say it that way. McGarnagle. I want to have like a Craig McGarnagle. That's a guy you meet in a bar somewhere. Anyways, you went short Meta from 669, so good for you. Like that. Wow, you had to have been pinpoint precise to get that, because it doesn't look like it was at 669 for very long. And yeah, probably pretty happy with that, right? Because you got a $4 or $5 move on it. I love Chris. You're so active when you get going on this trading. You're trading everything, watching it all. Path's at the high of day right now. Not making big moves, but again, play that momentum. Can move for you. The SPY is bottomed out here and is just sort of bouncing off the bottom here, it looks like. If it breaks lower, it could drag a whole lot of stuff down with it, but right now, don't know where things are going. Well, you guys are like trading all sorts of things. You're long Amazon? Oof. I don't know. That's a tough one. You're looking for a move higher. You need support of the market to make that happen. I'm hopeful it works for you. I'm a little skeptical about it. So.
Oh, where's this? There it is. Now I see it. Man, we had a good move. I mean, Nvidia gave me a move, and then everything else is selling off. Nothing's near the high of day. It's going to be a bottom reversal day. That's what it's going to be.
Well, that's what I said. That's sort of what I'm looking for in my next moves, really. So we'll see if that's what really pans out. All I can do is watch and wait, and see if those moves end up playing the way I hope they will.
Apple.
What's Apple up to?
Apple sold and then is now kind of might be able to find. Never really gave a volume signal though. Been on that. Nvidia is testing this area that it bounced off of earlier. This kind of 180, which was the pre-market low as well. So after its big up and down day.
All right.
Nice and quiet day today.
Yeah, it is. It does feel a little quiet. I was hoping, I said pre-market, I was hoping that we were going to get a really good day. I mean, it's not like there haven't been moves. They're just not. They're not my moves. Meta, from all that excitement pre-market, we had the drop on the open, and now we've been in this range. So it's not totally surprising. I was hoping for a little bit more movement, but as a boss once told me, hope is not a strategy. So hope is not a plan. So you can hope all you want.
No, it is not.
It just doesn't mean it's going to play out. Tesla, which did sort of move higher, now is once again also back into a range. And I know Apple, we were talking about, that had that strong sell-off. It's sort of weakly bounced here, so I, again, don't know where it's going to go. Atlas for Tesla. Sorry, I just saw that note. I can absolutely do that for you. Let's put this on the full screen. This is what the Atlas looks like on Tesla right at the moment. Orders up at 455. You can't see that because everything's squished in. I got to do this. Well, let me configure this with aggregate for, we'll do 25-cent levels. No, let's do 50-cent levels. There. Now you can see more. So you can see most of the orders for Tesla are on the top side. And not a lot on the downside, which is interesting because if you compare that to, Tesla's price action, it's certainly not aggressively higher, right? That seems to be where all the orders sit. But it's, go back to our chart here, and Tesla is, really just moving sideways. And even on the daily, it's not. I mean, it's above this price action, but it's not above, this area in late October, early November that it consolidated. So looks like they're trying to get Tesla to go higher, but not enough enthusiasm, not enough buying support to really make it happen. Could be they're waiting for broader market enthusiasm or activity before they throw their weight behind it, but tough to say. We got Andrew and Brian still trading live in Thailand. They've got their conference room going. And wow, look at this move on Rigetti here this morning. It's really moved higher and is right at the high now with some volume behind it. What's happening on Rigetti? Let's see if I can find some news on this bad boy.
RGT. Let's see.
Rigetti spaghetti. What are you up to, Rigetti?
Is it just the quantum stuff? I don't have anything.
Apparently, I look at the insider reporting. The CEO had been selling some shares. Not a huge number, to be honest. Some of the executives were selling, but that's not. That feels like it's normal price action. Like they sold, the CTO sold 41,000 shares, but he still has 688,000. The CEO sold 3,700 shares, but he's got 180,000. Why does the CTO have so many more shares than the C? Oh, no, that's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer. So looks like we've got some sales, but they've actually been selling shares over the course of the last year pretty consistently. It's interesting that they've chosen not to wait for the longer move. Other than that, I don't see any news on Rigetti, Mike, unless you've found something else.
Nope, I haven't seen anything. So,
Well, insider selling is usually considered a bad thing, not a good thing, but I said it doesn't look very significant, so.
yeah. Nvidia kind of bounced, and then it's pulling back down here. I wonder if it's going to hold this 180 level. It's going to be.
Rigetti is Nvidia. Nvidia is looking a little bit weak here.
Yeah.
And Meta is also
looking.
pushing down here. See if we can get back to this 660 level. Pretty quiet morning for me, anyways, guys. I said no trade. I know Mike had his. Have you just had the one? Just that one trade
I
on?
just had the one trade on the video.
Okay, all right.
That's all I've traded today.
Let's see, there's Mike's screen. What are you looking at? Oh, you're just looking at Meta now? No, you're looking at Nvidia.
Nvidia, seeing what it's going to do off this 180 level. Seeing if it crashes through it or if we get some volume spike and then a rebound off of it. SPY's moving down again, so SPY just made a new low.
SPY just aggressively moved lower, so we'll see if that brings these
Jared's
stocks
all
down.
happy about that. Tesla's red now. Nvidia holding so far. It's 920. I just looked in the chat room. Both Andrew and Brian look tired.
Yeah, I noticed that. There's a lot of yawning going on with those boys in the chat room.
Go out all day, go scuba diving, go working.
Yeah, all those massages. You know, it's tiring stuff.
Tiring. It's tiring.
I thought this was supposed to be a relaxing wellness retreat. See? Wellness retreat, my ass. Yes.
Here's the video bouncing off 180.10 again. It's tested that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. Playing.
Yeah, Nvidia has bounced off of that quite a bit. Beth, it's snowing there? Yeah, well, don't worry, it's snowing here too. Well, it's not snowing right now, but actually I do have to go shovel my front step because it did snow overnight. Gotta clear that off as soon as I can.
You just live in snow, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, don't you should be used to snow. You come from a snow area, aren't you? From Oregon?
No, I come from Newport, Oregon, along the coast. It snows once every maybe 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just picture Oregon as a snow area.
Up in the mountains, right? Mount Hood, the mountains, Bend, that stuff gets snow. But for the most part, yeah. Lots of rain. Rain, and more rain.
Wow, look at this spike up here on Nvidia. Back up to VWAP. Yeah. Right to that level.
Off of 180.10. Can we get through VWAP? That's the thing that we need.
All right, guys. I mean, it's slow today, so that keeps us slow.
Look at that bounce on the SPY.
Let's take a look see what the SPY is doing.
Big drop, then a big pop back up. Coming.
There's
10:30.
Yeah, the 10:30 alarm, which means again directional change, maybe. That's what I'm watching.
Might have happened a little earlier.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I'd try and sit in this chair because I hadn't sat down for a while, and for whatever reason, this chair hurts one of my legs.
Time to buy a new chair, Peter.
I guess it's like this fancy Aeron chair. I've had it for years. Maybe it's me. I think it's me. I'm gonna buy a new hip. Let me get this old, crappy, like $20 chair. It seems to work better.
Yeah. Yeah, I may need a new hip. So,
change chairs. Here we go. This old, crappy chair, no padding, seems to work better now for me. It's funny. I was using a standing desk. I probably stood for a month and or longer. I don't know how long it had been that I had the standing desk going, but And at first you're like, oh, I can't do it. I can't stand all day. And then you get to a point where you're standing all day. But I did start to feel it in my knees a little bit. But just standing here all day.
Yeah, that would be. It's
At first you don't think you could do it, and then you get used to it.
yes. I remember being a drill instructor standing for 18 hours a day.
There you go.
And when you wake up, you put your feet down on the ground and it feels like 1,000 needles are going through the soles of your feet. And you're just
Oh my
like,
God.
please. Oh,
I
they
never-
hurt so bad.
Wow. I never got that bad.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll see what the SPY's doing. The VWAP and the previous day close are right at the same level here. So
NVIDIA's
sitting
at
right there.
VWAP as well.
Let's see Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia's right at VWAP. Andrew's trading. Andrew's are trading Nvidia to the long side.
I have to switch these to 5-minute charts.
All right, let's see if we can get Andrew in here. See, Andrew can share what he's doing.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Fire Guy, Coastal Snowflakes. You're in Vancouver Island.
Ooh.
I never thought about it. You don't get much snow on Vancouver Island? I guess not. You'd be so coastal.
Yeah. Ah, here comes the nice move on NVIDIA up above VWAP again.
Hey, I've Razorback. I've always been interested in that. Do you actually find that like you will walk on that treadmill? Wouldn't it be distracting, like just walking all day? I thought like and just be, I don't know. Maybe it's good to keep your hips moving like that, but feels like it would just be annoying.
Be weird. I'd have a hard time.
Yeah, or like. You like lose your balance because you're trying to like do something. Last thing I want to do is like you're trying to enter, exit a trade, and suddenly like you gotta like run and or you get your feet out of control because you're not thinking about it.
Yeah. NVIDIA really is getting a nice move up to the top side.
Yeah. I see Nvidia's getting that pop, and Andrew's taking advantage of that. He's in Nvidia long. It did get a sort of a double bottom pattern there in Nvidia. Didn't get the volume that I need to take it, but it did get the pattern, the retest. So that is something.
Man, look at it going through.
All right. If you're in that, you're still long on hymns. What is hymns up to right now? I stopped watching hymns. Oh, yeah. It's sort of at the high of day. Let's put it on the screen here. Hymns is a big pullback from the high. Retesting again now.
Dollar General, yuck. That was a tough one.
Wow, Oklo is not one that we looked at. Let's see, what is it? Oh, well, it made a move higher here. That's a $6 move. From 96 to 102.
Yeah. NVIDIA.
High risk of getting a heart attack or stroke if sitting all day without moving. Yeah. But is it better to... I just think the treadmill would just be weird to try and treadmill while you're typing and doing compute things.
Yeah, you definitely have to move all day. Moving, well, you don't have to move all day, but as long as you're exercising and moving, if you're just sitting around doing nothing, that is not good.
No, clearly not.
But Peter,
I
you
fi-
play pickleball and squash and all
I
the other
figure,
racquetball games.
yeah,
So I mean,
exactly. So I figure, like I've got all my days set up, right? So Monday is squash, Tuesday is a spinning class in the morning, Wednesday, like yesterday, I played 4 hours of pickleball. Thursday, I don't have anything scheduled. Friday, I run. Saturday, I go to the gym with my wife, and then Sunday, I do a hike and more pickleball. So I've got things set every week.
there you go.
Plus, there's the standing desk, but that's just to stop things from seizing up. But
And look at this bounce off of Nvidia. Nvidia, huge push up, completely sell back down, and now we're pushing up again.
mm,
Like,
interesting. All right, I know that Nvidia, as Mike is watching here, is making a nice aggressive move higher.
yeah, very nice. We got 182.50 coming.
Hmm. Andrew, if you look at the chat room there, Andrew is definitely he's trading Nvidia and doing well.
Yeah, loving
Let's
that.
bring it into the I'll bring it into the screen here.
Yeah, it's a very
See,
nice trade on
uh,
Nvidia going.
yeah, he got long just after the double bottom. He had actually traded it profitably at the open, and then sort of let it. I think he went red actually on Nvidia. Well, then came back and now is partialing all his way up, making a great trade. So pretty good stuff. So I gotta get rid of that. There you go. Anyways, Mike is also keeping an eye on Nvidia. So, but you haven't taken any more trades on it, Mike. You're just watching, right?
No, I'm just watching it. I want to
Right.
see.
Yeah, that's fair. Andrew went Hulk mode. You know what? Andrew seems to make it work all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he does. He's he's able to make it work every single day. That's what you get for being the caliber of trader that Andrew is, right? He can just make it work almost every single day. There's never any absolutes, but 99 days out of 100, Andrew's doing pretty good. He only has a couple of red days a year, really. There's probably not quite 99%. How many red days a year do you think Andrew has? Let's see.
I don't know.
He probably has. I would say 10 to 20 is probably how many red days Andrew actually has. I'd be
Yeah.
guessing, which would mean that would be about 5 to 10%, right? So, yeah, Samim, you're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
10, yeah. I like it. It's 10. It's probably just north of 10, not quite 20, but it'll be somewhere in that range, I think. So, I mean, I suppose we could go back if you really went back. I mean, we've got all the YouTube. He pretty much comes every day and shares his P&L most days, anyways. We could probably go back and track it, but it's interesting because his If you look at his actual trade, because I did this math years ago, I haven't redone it, but let's just say for argument's sake, he has 10% of his days that are not profitable. So he's profitable 90% of the time overall, but he's only profitable on 50% of his trades. And that's the sign of a good trader. And I always go back. I remember the speech that Federer made when he retired from tennis. And Roger Federer said, if you look at my point score, I've played X number of tens of thousands of points professionally. And he said, I only won, like, I think the number was like he won 49% of the points. But if you look at how many games, like, in amongst the, that I played, I won like 75% of the games and something like 80% of the matches. Or it was some incredible number where you really look at it. Wow. He said, don't look at the points. I don't win. I didn't even win half of the points. Those numbers are inaccurate. It's an approximation. But his point was that what you have to do, the key to being successful in tennis, is that you just have to forget what happened in the previous point, play this ball, play this point, and overall, if you have confidence in your ability, you're going to win the points you need to when you need to win them. And I honestly think that there's a similar philosophy you have to have in trading, right? If you trust what you're doing, if you know your strategy, you've got to trade consistently, and it will work out once you know what you're doing. Getting to that point is the challenge, right? And we don't have the same coaches and everything that athletes do, but that's why we try and provide the boot camp and other facilities so you can help coach yourself to get yourself through that uncertainty phase and that building phase. It's tough. It's tough. Like, look, Mike and he's got one trade this morning, and I've got none. Right, and I'm okay with that, and I'm not, I'm not afraid. I'm going to wait for when a trade opportunity sets up, and if it doesn't, there's always tomorrow. It's taken me a long time to get to this philosophical point where I could just say that's okay, as opposed to saying, "Oh my God, I haven't traded," and I go and take 5 dumb trades, which is what I used to do. So,
yep, and those dumb trades have the negative impact on your account that the good trades can get wiped out in.
On your account, on your psychology, right? Can put you in a position where you then can't take the good trades because you don't trust yourself, or and I struggle with that every day in terms of trusting myself. Some days it's great and it all just flows and I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Other days I really have to sort of remind myself, this works, stick to the rules, stick to the plan. It's a constant mental and emotional battle, I find, trading. That's why I love it. I love trading. It is such a personal skill, unlike anything I've done. So, yeah, Zeus, there you go. Well, you said it differently, but yeah, Andrew's at a 49% success rate. It could be. I don't actually know what his winning trade ratio, but I would not be surprised if it was, like said, like right around 50%.
Yeah. Man, look at this. See, here's the NVIDIA. It's gonna all the way back up to the high a day, Peter. Wow.
I know. That's actually quite a good move.
I am just watching this thing.
Boy, and Andrew was just talking about Nvidia, and he was just saying it's going to go to 183, and Brian said, "Well, maybe it will." I said, "No." Andrew said it is as certain that it's going to go to 183 as it is that the sun will rise tomorrow. And he did his usual, "I will change my name if it doesn't go." And sure enough, it just hit 183, 183. Yep. 183.02 is the number that it hit, so he doesn't have to hang his head in shame or change his name.
$183.02. There it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's going. Guys, if you got that move, SPY from low to, well, not the
Yeah.
SPY didn't quite go from low to high of day, but it made a good move at it. Certainly went green. Nvidia, pretty much as you can see on Mike's screen, more or less went from
Yeah.
low to high of day. Not
Yeah.
quite. Like it literally was off a couple of cents from the low and a couple of cents off from the high. But I mean, this is I would say other than that that move right at 9:35, this is like the most significant move of the day. So it's good to see
Definitely.
that type of action. That's good because that's good for me because it sets up my trades a little bit later. So um,
I mean, you look at the daily too, and you're like, man, I could almost see this thing going back down if it can't push above this 183 mark.
mhm. I mean it.
I mean,
It's interesting how it moved up, but look at the relative volume. You can see it on Mike's chart that he's sharing here. The volume never spiked at all during that entire move
no,
higher, right? It just sort of slowly trundled its way higher, which is interesting. And Mojito, yeah, it is interesting how you see that almost universally, right? Again, there's never absolutes in trading, but
yep,
the more experienced you get, the less you tend to trade because you get more particular about your setups. You know what you're looking for and you're willing to wait for it. Now, not all trading styles lend itself to that. If you're a scalper, if you're a momentum scalper, Chris, you can jump in here. You know, Chris probably is trading more when he gets confident than less because he's looking for those quick move momentum. And every once in a while they'll carry. Often it's a quick move and then out. So, you know, like there are certain styles where you might end up trading more, but overall, you're absolutely correct. Most people, you slow down. You're looking for more specific things. You get a little
yep.
more, you get the ability to discern what looks good and what doesn't look good and the reasons behind that. So,
Look
play
at
it
that.
tight, play it safe. Indeed. That's
Yes.
how the big money works.
If I was gonna be here, yeah, I gotta drive to my house, so yeah. I was looking at Nvidia and just being like, back when I told you I think this thing can pull back down, I was like,
Yeah.
should I get into this? And I'm like, you gotta leave in 8 minutes. Like, no, like, don't do it.
You know, you had 8 minutes.
So, yeah, I know I have 8 minutes, but that's the problem. You,
Uh,
Peter, like when you're on a call, right? I've learned don't do
yep.
those rash trades when you're focused on something else, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. I at least for me, I find like if you're thinking towards something else in life, like driving to your house or a conference call or something, you're not going to be focused on the trade and just let it evolve naturally, and you're likely to force something.
yep.
And you can hear my
Yeah, James, see, I'm not going to do it. I'm not, but I'd look at the daily and Nvidia's just in this range and
that was weird.
you look at the 5 minute chart, you're in a range. You look at it, it just my yeah. There is a ton of orders on Nvidia at 185. There's a large amount at 184, but every time it gets to this 183, it doesn't have the buyers to push higher. As you can see, we're selling back down to 182, probably back down to the pre-market high to test that again. I mean, it's almost exactly like the earlier trade I did.
Huh. All right. What have we got?
Say here's 182 coming.
Yes, Chris, scalping doesn't have to be gambling. You're right. The term scalper has been used, I think, it's been used for so many different terms, right? And it can mean different things to different people. So, that is unfortunate. But you can absolutely have a very strong strategy as a scalper. But a lot of people scalp and they do it immaturely. If you're a mature scalper, right, then you really know what you're doing. And to me, scalping is much more like being a professional gambler, right? Gambling, if you say a gambler, people immediately think about risk and they think about, just throwing money on the roulette table or playing blackjack or playing poker or whatever without any care in the world. But if you're a professional gambler, which I would, I'm defining here to say you're making money at it consistently, you have a strategy. You know what you're doing. You usually spend a lot of time at the tables. Like, you've developed an approach that allows you to make money over time. Scalping is a lot the same, right? It looks the same from the outside, but the actual skill that you're using under sort of underneath the covers is very, very different. So don't let anybody tell you that if you're a good scalp trader, that you don't have a plan or don't have rules. You absolutely can, but I said a lot of people don't. So it can get confusing.
Here's Nvidia just tested the pre-market high. See if it can hold this time, or
poor Mike as he's watching it go down, thinking,
I know.
I could have.
Then I would be leaving. Could have, would have, should have. I wouldn't say should have. Could have, would have, but not should have.
All right.
Oklo is still continuing higher. It's up near 105 now. Meta just sideways.
Well, tough moves here today. Tough for me, anyways. Yeah. No strategies that I can take advantage of. So, Path. I know you got a few of you were watching Path earlier. Look at that. It's going to a new high. It really has just been very consistent here. Slow but steady on its way higher. So I didn't have faith in it. I have to admit, I didn't think it was going to be a good mover. Great volume. 40 million shares just traded here today. So good overall volume. Good movement. Not one. You're mentioning Oklo. Yeah, Oklo is another one that had, look at that, like move. Oh, it's all, since 10 o'clock, really just made this $10 move. Well, $9 move. Yeah, 96 up to 105 now. Well, 106, almost $10. Right. So good moves on a couple of stocks. Just listen to Andrew. He's describing his Nvidia trade here. He's got some good moves.
Yeah. Yeah, this.
Yes, Nvidia is.
It's so interesting, this Nvidia. It's almost the similar trade to the morning. Moves up, pulls back, tests, drop, pulls up, pulls back, kind of going up to test, and now we're losing again. Anyways, so all right, Peter, I gotta hop off because I gotta get on the car so I can make it to the house by 10:30. So
absolutely. All right, you
it was
do that.
a pleasure, everybody. Everybody on YouTube, thank you.
Thanks,
Hopefully
Mike.
we'll have Thor today.
Yeah.
Should.
Hopefully. You can see Andrew in the chat room here. Let's bring this in so you guys can see. He's showing us he's made $8,000 today trading Meta and Nvidia. Meta, he actually started pre-market, and Nvidia, he was trading over the day, and he was up and down on that. So good trades there, and good moves for him. So there you go. Andrews, more rant tomorrow? I can rant for you now. What do you want me to rant about? We got, here, let me, Mike's all frozen on the screen. We can rant? What do you want to rant about? Give me a topic. I'll tell you what I think. All right. RGNT. Ooh, we just had an IPO. Look at this, RGNT just opened a couple of minutes ago. Not. All right, cheap whiskey. I don't have to rant about cheap whiskey. Them being in Thailand? Yeah, I could. You want me to like give you guys a rant about that? I do feel Andrew was just busy telling everybody in the chat room how awesome it was and how great the trip was, and that it's much better than he ever expected. And frankly, that's just a personal. This is it's the first trip. We've been running Bear Bull Traders for over 8 years now, and this is the first time in 8 years we've had one of these large trips that I have not gone on. So it's tough for me to sit back and not go, and that's just unfortunate for me. That's life, right? Can't go do everything. So I just got to suck it up. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's that's a me problem, not an anyone else problem. But you know what? We don't have another trip planned right now. We were talking about that. Andrew said that he wanted to go somewhere in Texas. Brian was floating Vegas. I don't know. Andy, I just promised my wife that I wouldn't go on this one because I go on all of them, and she has to work, so haven't convinced her to quit her job yet. So she wants to work, and that means she couldn't go with me. So it's because I did the Colombia trip last year, and I went to Colombia for like 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks, and then I went to Vegas to play in a poker tournament for another week almost. So I was gone for like 3 weeks, and she was not happy because I left her behind for the whole thing. So she made me promise that I wouldn't do this one. So. But I said that's a problem. So Nvidia didn't actually make a double top the way I measure it, right? If you're talking about, so I'm on a 1 minute chart here on Nvidia right now. If you look at that, I mean, if you're talking about right here, look at how it put a higher high, right? That's not a topping pattern that I can trade. It did put volume right up here when it touched 183, but it wasn't quite a parabolic reversal, which I trade, and it wasn't quite a mountain pass. So there was no trade for me. If you're talking about earlier in the day, this here, well, it pulled back through VWAP, and I will not trade anything that does a pullback through VWAP. So that double top also didn't qualify. It was also a little early in the day. So So those are, they just didn't meet my qualifications. And yes, they're restrictive, but it also keeps me out of trouble. So it didn't get me in my trade. See, Bats Wayne, now you're drivers who refuse to use their indicators. I don't see a lot of that, but yes, I ran into a guy the other day that was using no indicators. And that drives me absolutely nuts. The other thing, I don't know why I see so many drivers these days that drive at night without their headlights on. I think that they've made a mistake the way they've configured these daytime running lights, where you'll have the dashboard lights on, and then you have just these like little lights, so you think your lights are on. I don't understand how people don't realize there's not any light in front of them, and they're not lighting up the car in front of them. When they drive down the highway with no tail lights and no headlights, that drives me insane. It is such a risk because, especially when they're driving slow with no headlights and no taillights. That drives me insane. That I'll rant to you about all day, because that is something that we need to fix.
I really
the other thing
like, especially since like every car has automatic headlights now, it would have to be a decision to do that, right?
There you go. Hey, Thor's with us. Yeah, you know what? I think what happens, Thor, is that at least if you ever go to the dealership, they turn your lights off. And I guess I get that if you're putting your car into the dealership, that you don't want to have the headlights on in that. But why wouldn't they turn them on again when they bring your car out? Because I think what happens is if you put it on auto, like I never touch the headlights. They're on auto. They just come on automatically. So I can get it in some cases that you're going to forget because, but I can't believe everybody on the road just came from a dealership. And that's why your headlights aren't on.
I think the thing that would bother you the most about me is that I don't use my windshield wipers while it's raining. I think that would be maybe the one that gets the most people.
I'm okay with it. As long as you can see, then you know what? Who's to tell you what when you have to use them or not? It does drive my wife. It does drive my wife crazy. I always find it humorous when she says, turn the windshield wipers on, I can't see. I'm like, well, you're not driving. I can see just fine.
It's okay.
Yeah. Why do you need to see?
I mean, if we're going down one way or the other, do you really want to see it coming? I mean, that's what I always say.
Yeah. Wow. Harsh.
Got a little dark there.
Yeah. Harsh, but all right. Why not?
Oh man!
All right, I got to get your screens enabled. Thor, you seem to be in a good mood today. You're doing well.
I'm in an amazing mood today. I did this.
That's
thing
awesome.
Called sleep, and it was great. and since doing that, I've been in an amazing place. I also had an amazing trade today, so that also makes me happy.
That also.
Not so much the trade as really the execution of the trade makes me very happy. So I'm always happy when I do it right and get rewarded.
There you go.
So,
all right. Well, I'm going to leave you to it so you can get to your trading here today. I'm going to give one last rant. Since we're talking about car things, here's my PSA for everybody. If you're in a snowy area, because we're talking Beth and others who said you're in a place where it snows, clear the snow off your car. And not just the windows, clear the snow off the roof of your car because it's just going to blow on the back window. That drives me insane, that drivers that don't take the time to clear the snow off.
I've seen it like fly off and like hit someone's windshield.
There's that too when it hardens and becomes those big sheets, and then of course it. So clear the snow off your car. All right, I'm done. All right, happy trading, guys. Hopefully you take advantage of some good moves. Thor, always good to have you here. Off to the races, my friend.
I would like to let everybody know that when I modeled myself as a moderator for Bear Bull Traders, I took the soapbox from Peter. For the record, if you've ever guys seen me go on my long rants in my soapbox, I knew it was okay because I saw Peter do it and nobody hated it. You know what I mean? I still love a Peter rant as much as anybody has always loved a Peter rant. And I want to thank you, Peter, for teaching me how to properly soapbox.
Well, I'm not sure we've done a good community service, but people do seem to like them. So there you go. So Thor, we'll have to get one of these with your face on it so you can have your own rant.
Thanks, Peter. We're just gonna keep using this one. I'll just reference this one every time. I don't care. We'll just give credit where credit's permanently due.
There you go.
So Peter's new book coming out, by the way, in the spring, How to Rant After Missing a Trade by the Penny. Next, coming to you. Just kidding. All right. So for those of you who don't get that reference, Peter and I at one point in time were going to write a coffee table like almanac of all the trades that we've been stopped out to by on the penny. And it was really our new thing. And I still think we should do it because it happens. There was a day I was not stopped out to the penny, and I was very happy about that. And that would be today. So today,
Oh, what's happening? I'm losing Thor. Is it his connection or mine? There on YouTube, I think Thor is, it looks like he's frozen. You can hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. If you can hear me, then I know that we're still alive. Yeah. Somebody, the sensors got him. The sensors are like, no, we got to cut Thor off. He's right. We had that coffee table. We used to joke about that, the stopped out to the penny, because as we were both learning trading and growing and evolving, there were so many times where we had our levels set, but we set them too close into the price action, and we would get stopped out like right at the penny. That was exactly where the price would reverse, and it was a learning process, and we just both happened to be going through that learning process at the same time. So yeah, we would joke all the time. The stopped out to the penny. It was great. I still have this meme somewhere. You know what? I should find this, because Thor and I, because we used to have a game show we used to play too, which was pretty awesome, where we would play Name That Price, where, because we got to know each other's trades, and I would just put up a chart and I say, guess my trade, right? Guess what I did. And Thor was pretty good. He would be able to guess it, and he'd put up his trade, and I'd be able to guess what he was doing. And one of our members put up this meme here. Name that entry. Look at that. That's pretty awesome, eh? Somebody created the Name That Entry game show. So I'm not sure why I'm wearing lederhosen, but there I am, and there's Thor at the top playing Name That Entry Plinko. Isn't that pretty awesome? That was pre AI. So somebody actually had to put work into creating that, as opposed to nowadays where you can create these things in about like 30 seconds, right? So, but anyways, a lot of fun. We've had so much fun. Always have in this community. We make money. We have fun. It's pretty awesome. Oh, am I supposed to be in here? Hello. I'm just joining into the chat room. People are saying there's no sound. I didn't know I was supposed to be providing the sound. So hello, everybody. We're supposed to have Thor on here at this hour. He was here, and then his screen all got frozen. We were walking down memory lane as I was sharing with everybody. Anybody, members of our community, remember this Name That Entry game that Thor and I used to play back in the day? Look at that meme that somebody created. It's pretty awesome. Anyways. Yes, Art, I know you've been around. You remember that. Doug remembers that? Yeah. That was a lot of fun. How could we forget? Look at this. Some of our longer term members. Look at Doug, Art, and Brian, all 7-year members. See? That's how long you had to be here to remember. My rap song, oh, well, then I'm sorry about that. If you remember my rap songs, I used to do those. I had a whole bunch of them that I did. I am a horrible singer and an even worse rapper, but I did them. They entertained me, horrified everybody else. But they're still out here somewhere. Nowadays, I just do this. The endless pour. Anyways, all right, we're gonna get Thor back in here. Hopefully, his PC looks like it's had a critical failure. Got the blue screen of death. Said that his PC froze and he's having to reboot the entire thing. So, Lenny's session is not happening today. He is in Thailand. He's giving personal mentoring sessions, but that one is not occurring. So yeah, if you're dialing into the room, We can get rid of that one. That is not happening today. So apologies for any confusion on that. Normally it would. I've been watching here Nvidia as it made that great move. Andrew took advantage of that move higher. What a great trade. Mike was with me, and he was like, I should short it from the top, but I have to leave in a few minutes, and he didn't, much to his chagrin, because it made an excellent move. His risk to reward was good on that. That was something that he could have traded. I haven't found a trade yet. I'm still just watching, waiting for my opportunity. There's been some, good moves on stuff, just nothing that's set up for a trade. So I'll have to wait and hopefully can take advantage of it when if and when the opportunity strikes. What the heck, Ross, is this? Ross in the chat room is pointing out SMJF. SMJ, I thought this was like going to be Smucker's Jam or something. SMJ International Holding. What the hell? This is traded. Look at this thing. Look at the 5-minute chart on this. It just looks like it just reopened. This is not fun. At least I wouldn't put it as fun. So thanks, but no thanks. Appreciate the suggestion. I am not going anywhere near that. That is... Yeah, it's funny. With everything I've been doing, I haven't been tracking the IPOs this week. Normally, I'm doing that, but this week I've slacked off, admittedly. I haven't been able to track those. One that we were watching this morning is this PLRZ. Remember we mentioned that? It kept popping up on our list. Sell-off today. This was hard to borrow, so it wasn't shortable. So you wouldn't have been able, at least I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of that in my platform, but... move lower. One, I don't know if you guys were tracking in YouTube, some of our YouTube traders were tracking this one, Path, which is the UI Path. We did mention it in the pre-market show, and wow, what a slow and steady, consistent riser, right? It looks like now it's maybe getting a double top, but I wouldn't necessarily trust that for a reversal. I just don't know the stock well enough, but good, 44 million shares traded now. And again, just slow and steady. If you got this anywhere near the open, you're just happily sitting in it, waiting to go. Caleb's...
All right, I think I'm alive, Peter.
He's alive! He's alive!
I'm alive.
He lives, Thor.
So I was just like doing my thing, and all of a sudden, everything just goes...
Yeah. Did you get the blue screen of death?
No, just looking at a whole lot of my dumb face, not doing anything on the screen, and I was like, okay, this isn't happening.
Isn't it weird when you're doing something like this and you look, you're like, I think I'm moving more than that. Why is my face not moving on the screen? You're like, oh, my camera's frozen.
This guy's face. I'm like, why does he look so stupid? Oh, that's his resting face look.
That's what I like to say. My wife's like, why do you look like that? I'm like, it's just my face.
I'm like, that's my thinking face. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. There's nothing I can do. Just the way it is. All right, Thor. We'll hand it back. Hopefully, it's all working for you now.
I appreciate it.
By the way, your YouTube and chat room. So you the man right now.
Oh, hold on. Well, let me pull up both so I can look at both. I like multitasking. I'm coming, BBT. I'm coming for you. All right, mute so I don't hear myself talking, because that would be annoying for everybody, including myself. Okay, cool. All right, so I believe I can see YouTube now. I believe I can see BBT. What's up, people? Love you, mean it. So it's so good to see everybody. Oh, 11 o'clock, hanging out with everybody. It's like old times. There's an echo. Maybe because we're getting some BBT backfeed. No echo in BBT. Is there an echo in the YouTube? We'll find out. Hopefully not. Gone now? Okay. Fixed. Okay, great. So I am very, very happy today I liked RTY today. I kept, is that snow? No, definitely not. No, this is Florida. There is no snow here in St. Augustine. That is water. And those are birds going by. It's like, I mean, it is a little cool. It's 65 Fahrenheit. Not cool. And I've got my trade right here for you. I only took one trade today. As I've been incredibly focused on the systematic approach, and I really have only been trading futures lately. The trade du jour for me was RTY. We were in a higher, wider range. We were opening in the lower end of the CPR. So this was one I really wanted to focus on today. And so when it alerted, and we had ourselves remaining in a buy. So this is really, really important. You can see here on my buying and selling detector here, right? We started buying right at the open and we offered onto the buy side. So when we came back to the offer, and then I saw us buying off the offer, I went ahead and went long there and threw my stop below S3. This allowed me to get really nice RVR. If it came down and went through S3, I would have stopped out and tried again with the stop below the stop box. I couldn't run all the way below the stop box because that was a little aggressive for my risk manage, but I ended up risking about 400 on this one. It was 3 contracts, risking about $400, and I made the full S3 to R3 move on this one, which was a little over 3K total. So it was a really lovely trade. And I'm really, really happy about it. So this is my only trade for the day, and there should be a screen because I can see it on YouTube. So if you're not seeing it, you may want to and I can see it in the chat room too. So you may want to refresh. Kind of. So I have a maximum risk I'm willing to take high tide, but I don't actually take my max risk. So for instance, so let me kind of show you how I do that. I know what I can do. Let me go off of this. Hold on. Let me go off of this one. I'll put you over here. And we'll go to this one. Now that you've seen my trades, we don't need to leave the arrows up. We'll be okay. So let's say I wanted to go in here, right? What I'm going to do is the maximum amount I'm willing to risk per trade right now is around $500 to $600, right? That's the most I'm willing to risk. So now when I go to get into a long, like let's say I was going to go short right now. Let me show you how I would go short, but I would not go short. We're buying. It would just be easier to demonstrate that because we're in a selling range and we're near a top right now. So, let me log into a paper account. Doink, doink. All right, this is where I do all my fun stuff. All right, so let's say we're going to go short. I'm going to do it this way. So I would look for a sell and see, you can go ahead in here and it already shows you where your take profit and your stop loss would be. So let's say I was going to go short and my maximum I'm willing to lose is $500, right? So that's where I put my stop. And then this is where and then we got to do at least a 4R multiple, right? So I'm going to go for like $2,000, right? So I know that if I get into this trade, I need to go at least that far, and because that's my maximum loss, right? Now, just because that's my max loss does not mean I need to take that loss. I always need to make this amount when I win. I always want to make at least $2,000 when I win, right? But I don't want to ever lose more than $500. But in this instance, like if I went short here, I would not need, right, I would not need to lose $500 to find out I'm wrong. I would only need to lose a new high of day. Right? That would be enough for me to know I'm wrong, right? So I really don't need to risk 500. I could actually risk maybe something more like 120 for those 2 contracts. I'm still going to go for $2,000, right? But I only have to risk 120 to see if I can hit this $2,000. So I'm always worried about getting my maximum upside. I'm never really worried about my downside. I always want to control, never hit my max. So basically what I do is I partial my losers, right? So I'm always trying to make my losers as small as possible. Now, right now we're buying. So if I was going to short RTY, I would look for us to get near R4 and start selling near R4. Right now, I couldn't take a short if I wanted to, right? Because I'm not in the right range to go short and we're buying. So I would want to let this go to R4, right? And if we get that play at R4, then we could try the candidate play, which would be an R4 rejection. We already won the first trade. Gorgeous. You know, could we get a failure here? Maybe. I will enter using a market order. So what I do is I will get my limit set up so I know how many contracts in the distance, right? So we got our take profit put in. So like let's say we wanted to go long right now because right now we're a buy, so I'd rather be long, right? So you could go limit. You could put your you could go to the buy side, right? And you could say here, okay, if I go long, hold on, let me fix this. Yoink. Like that would be our stop loss, would be like right there. Right? So, but you still want to make around 2 grand. So you don't really like this trade, right? Because you'd have to go out of range to take it. So, but once you're ready to take it, if that's what you like and that's reasonable, I'll just do it in my paper account. You can go like here and hit market, flip into market, and then hit buy. Blink. And you're in. Right? Yep, all my strategies in the book. Absolutely. Detailed in heavy detail. Right? So now I wouldn't have gone long here because this is a selling range. I just wanted to show you how easily that worked. Right? If anything, I would want to short here, right? So because we're in a selling range. So anyway, but that's how that would work. Let me log out of this and back into my real account so I don't get accused of paper trading on YouTube, which I guess I technically am doing in that moment. Yoink. How did I get the remaining time on screen? It's actually a really simple clock. Not by me. It's just called clock. Really easy name. Clock. And what I really like about it is it allows me to kind of keep an eye on the time, because TradingView doesn't really have like a really nice like onboard clock. Yeah, I really wish they did. Like, I mean, there may be one available and I just haven't found it. I'm sure someone's going to tell me, oh, you can add one in here or something. But they don't really have a really nice on. Yeah, I can do that in BT. So like for right now, let me show you RTY on, and then I like to see the timing. These are, Eric, you're confusing me with the question real quick. So I think are you meaning, are these E-minis or are these or micros is what you're asking, right? Because there is a size bigger than this, but this is the biggest size you would ever trade as a retailer, unless you're getting crazy, right? So this is the what we consider to be the mini. So okay, hold on. I'm gonna do this and then BSD. Okay, sorry, MBT. My dopamine triggered more on this topic. So sorry. Where is my freaking Epic pen, dude? There you are. So when you're talking about futures, right? When you're talking about futures, you have full, mini, micro, right? So like if you're talking about ES, so you know, when you're talking about ES, right? Micros trade at $5, right? Minis are at $50. This is per point, right? And full is at 500. That's for ES. right? For NQ, right? NQ is 250, 25, and 250. Right? NQ is just more dangerous than ES because it has a significantly larger ATR, but it's actually cheaper to carry. So you can take two contracts of NQ and actually it's cheaper to carry those two contracts than it is to carry two contracts of ES. But because it has 4 to 8 times the ATR, right, it's more dangerous. It's much, much faster. Right? So I'm trading the mini sized, not the E-mini, just the mini size, right, of the RTY. Right? So these are, 2005, everything trades at this amount, but because I'm trading this contract, right, I'm only risking, I always go backwards on what RTY is per point. I need to get better at that. So if I was going to short this thing, though, I still needed to get up to here. But look, we are starting to offer to the sellers again. So that's interesting. How can you tell if we're buying or selling? Let me show you on RTY, and this will go into back to what we were talking about to the BSD, the buying and selling detector, right? So when we're talking about buying, one of the issues that a lot of traders have is they do not know how to recognize what state the market is currently in, right? So what do I mean by that? You're going long and the market is selling. Anybody in here? Give me a thumbs up or a hands up here. Who thinks it is a good idea to go long while the market is selling? I'm not going to get very many hands up here, I don't think. All right, hands up if you think it's not a good idea. Or like a number 1 in the chat. Or a thumbs up. Give me something. Show me you're alive. Show me you're breathing. I miss you. Interact with me. It's lonely out here. Like everything. There's 400 people and only 250 likes because Carlo's not here to beg for them and to give you free stuff. You're not getting free trips to Thailand anymore, so you're not liking because they're in Thailand and you're upset, right? So no, it's a state of being, right? The market, it's a state of being. So you do not want to go long while the market is selling, right? So look here at the open on RTY. The buying and selling detector breaks the market into states, which is amazing. So let me I'll give you kind of a little bit of a class on this right now. Anyone, and so let me give you a little bit of a rundown on this. YouTube, can you read those letters? Is that clear enough? Can you read that says buying, offering, and selling, or should I make those bigger? I want you to be able to clearly read it. Is that okay for you? Can you guys see it? How about BBT? Can you see it okay? But can you read that clearly? I think I can read it. Okay. So okay. We'll go with it. Okay, thank you. So when we're looking at this detector, and this is going to pair with the VPA, right? My number 1, the Rosetta Stone for me that someone twisted, cracked open, and like totally woke me up to the market was when I learned about volume and price analysis. And then I went to the NYSE and learned from Tuckman how it pairs with the overall market and process. Those things for me were a cheat code to me. For years now, I have been trying to teach other people how to see what I see. And it's very, very difficult, honestly. Like teaching people, but I think with my buying and selling detector, I can use it as I created this as an educational tool so I could teach. It then turned into something that I, decided to offer instead of just utilize, which I think is amazing. But anyway, So when you're looking at this detector, what you are seeing here is this mid-level is our offer line. Okay, so anytime you're at the mid-level, you are offering. If you are above from here to this 10 area, this shaded area, you are offering to buyers, right? You're actually offering to buyers, right? If you are below it, you are offering to sellers. If you go below the 10, you are selling. If you are going above the line, you are buying, right? And that's how you read this. So notice at the beginning, now that I have these lines here, at the open, what did we do at the open on RTY? We bought, right? This is not complicated. Please do not overthink this. Okay, I'm telling you, this is very easy stuff, right? I did not make this complicated. It's as easy as, I mean, it's just a line and a thing. All right. So we bought. So right at the open, we bought. Right now, look as we came back down to S3. What did we come down and do at S3? We offered to the buyers. Right? We came down into the buyers and we offered to the buyers. Did we start selling or offering to the sellers? Never. Now, when we offered to the buyers, what was the response to offering to the buyers? We bought. Right? When we offered to the buyers, we accumulated and bought. Fun. We then moved up, and now I'm going to have to erase these. We then moved up, and this is where things get a little more interesting. Anybody in here ever use tick charts? Give me a number 2 if you are familiar with what tick is and how to utilize it. I want to see how many old school traders we have in the house. Where's my old traders at? Not a lot. Not as many as I thought. That's interesting. Wow. You can tell that tick's gone out of favor. On the NYSE floor, tick is a big thing. But in retail, because most ticks are delayed, very few people actually rely on it, and you can see why. So notice here, right? When we get up near R3, right? Notice we're very, very high compared to any buying level we've been at before. And this is actually a level I had marked off of the buying and selling detector a few days ago. And it shows the maximum amount of buying we generally get before we exhaust our buyers. Now, here is where I am going to likely confuse a lot of you because many of you have learned this so wrong. When we go up and we go through high of day, most people think we are going up because I'm going to do this. If we're going up, and anyone who's one of my mentees, you're already going to know the answer. Don't spoil this for everybody else. If we're going up and we're making it through high of day, who are we looking for? Who are we trying to entice? What participant group are we after? Are we after buyers or are we after sellers? Oh, I love it. We're after buyers. Oh man, I like asking that because I like to see how many people have this or don't have this. Is it called a break of high of day strategy? Is it called a 5-minute opening range break? Right? Is it called an ABCD pattern? Is a continuation what? right? When we make new highs, we find buyers, right? We are looking for shorts to cover and we are looking for new buyers to buy premium, right? This is why you want it to break and re-offer to see if more buyers buy premium, right? But when we move down, we are enticing sellers. We are not enticing buyers. We always have sellers when we're moving up. That's why we're moving up. But what do we need to get to them? We need buyers to buy high. So when we move up, we are buying and we are trying to buy highs, right? So now that we're with that covered, look at reoffer means pullback, correct, Luis? Right? So now as we're buying and we exhaust who are we exhausting right here that makes us fall? Is this a selling climax or are we exhausting buyers? This is very important to know. If you really want to get true directionality down, we are exhausting buyers. That's right. We're not hitting a climax where we are actually hitting a large volume of sellers. We are just exhausting our buyers. Because of this, because we have no large selling spike up in this top region, we won't see this as that. So we fall back to the CP and look, we do start selling for a brief period of time, but then what is the response? We immediately reoffer buying and then start chopping around, right? But notice at this point, the bulk of the move is over, right? But we consolidate a little bit more. But even here, look how strong this push is, but look how low the movement is. We have exhausted our buyers, right? When we bring in our volume, and in this instance, we're starting to look like we're distributing. Right now, look, as we're moving up, our volume is going down. We are diverging, and we are now offering to our sellers right now. Look at this. So if you're looking at potential reversals, this is what a reversal starts to look like. We have now exhausted our buyers. When we tried to re-offer them, we could not entice them, and we immediately had to start offering our sellers. We've now tried again to entice buying, which resulted in the immediate re-offering to our sellers, right? This is what VPA unlocks for you. You can actually see the difference between when you are buying and when you are starting to offer and when you are beginning to sell. And we're going to watch RTY likely start selling right here. Now look at this ridge to the downside. Can you see right now where we are exhausting our sellers almost any time we try and sell? Anytime we try and sell, that's about as low as we go. So a really solid confirmation of selling would be to see this line go through there, right? Then that would be that we would have offered sellers, started selling, and in excess enough. And then while we're selling, ideally, we want it to look like this. See how the BS detector stayed north all the way till here. That's the selling starting. That's our signal, right? I let it go all the way to R3 because that's my target, but I didn't hold it any further than this because we found our sellers, right? But then we offered to our buyers, and our buyers did what? Nothing. They did not accept the offer. They did not start buying. They let it go to the sellers. They offered to the sellers, nothing. We reoffered to the buyers, nothing. Tried to buy again, nothing. Now we're offering to our sellers. Let's see what they do, right? Nvidia. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia had a lovely call today. Actually a lovely couple calls today, I believe. So Nvidia started off with a very aggressive long call from R4 to S6. There's no way I would have felt comfortable timing that. This call here, because we went to R6 first back to here, is a little lower probability, but we're still willing to call it because we did not close the candle out of the range. So this one's still viable, but it could not get enough buying. Look what happened right here. So notice this is the real issue I had with Nvidia for a long at the beginning. And this is where, again, paying attention to VPA or using a tool like the buying and selling detector can be very helpful. So look what happens at the open. So let's start with that knowledge that we talked about, what we went through. Work with me here, everybody. So at the open of the market, what did Nvidia do at the open? We did what? We sold, right? We sold. I mean, again, not complicated, right? We sold. So when we sold, we could not sustain selling, right? So we offered to the buyers, but we could never start buying, right? And this is the reason why this would not have been a good long here, right? Because of the low volume, fast move back out of range, the BS detector is going to call BS on this, right? So we're not seeing this as buying. We're just seeing this as offering, right? And we don't want to buy the offer. We want to buy, I mean, we want to buy if it's offering from the top side, like here. That looks way better, right? So if you'd have tried right there, I think that would have been a pretty solid attempt. But you will notice that because we rested very nicely and we popped, but as soon as we bounced, we could not break in and start buying. It failed, and then I would have exited as we started to lose the offer. It should never lose the offer, right? So you can use that for an early exit if you want. You really shouldn't do that. We started selling for a little bit, and then boom, we bought. This one ended up being a much cleaner offer. Look at this. We came down and sold in, came up and then reoffered and then bought. And now we're cleanly buying, right? So this looks much better right now. So like if you went long here, this was our actual long signal right there. We sold and then crossed into buying and then sustained our buying, offered the level, and then bought off of it. Pretty fun, right? Once you get used to using it, it works really, really nice. Prop firms that allow options trading? I don't know. I don't do options proprietary at all. YouTube. I'll throw this out there. Is anyone in YouTube or the generalized chat room aware of options prop trading firms that would be worth someone looking into? I don't believe that competes with BBT's interests in any way, because we don't do that. I'm not going to say the name. So, but if you want to type it into the chat, feel free to look at the YouTube chat and look at the BBT chat if someone happens to post one they're aware of. I think that would be fine. I mean, I do believe SMB. I will say them because we've done some stuff with them. I think SMB may have an options wing or something like that. I don't know. So, I will make a small request, if okay. For everyone, Chris, if you want to chat with Chris, about like his trading style or like what he's doing or like calls that he's doing, I'd highly recommend asking him for his contact information. But do me a favor. I don't necessarily want it's very difficult for me to keep up with the number of people that are asking questions in the chat. And so if we're kind of focusing on talking, and it's only two people, it's just Chris and one other person, I think. If we're having an open like side conversation, while I'm trying to, like, I lose questions people ask because there's literally 15 or 20 comments between the two of you in a row. So at this point, I'd highly, just for me and help me. I appreciate you, brother. If you guys want to chat, I think that's awesome. And I personally love Chris. Everybody knows I highly recommend him. He's one of the best scalpers I know. So if you want to chat with him, like get his side information, you guys can like, take him out for a drink or something. Like I got ADHD. Exactly, Sean. I got like ADHD and stuff, and I'm trying to like keep I'm like, wait, I can't see, type in, and then I'm asking someone to type in. Anyway, you got it. Squirrel. So anyway, thank you. So Nvidia ended up being this nice drawback here, and that ended up being pretty solid call. We actually had some really nice calls today. Mara was a lovely call today. I actually that we were looking at. So Mara had an S3 call here. So you can see, look, we started to sell. We were never buying yet, so it wasn't quite a long. But look, when we broke trend back above S3, that's when the buying kicked in. But we never were able to sustain it. So Mara's been really choppy. So So yeah. So, but there's been some nice ones. RTY again was my fave. I love this thing. So far, RTY is gold. I mean, this thing's a solid holder. So look, we just re-engaged our buyers. So it looks like we're starting to buy again on RTY. So that's fun. No, I don't. Yeah. So Tabby, yeah, exactly. No worries. No. So, and please don't, please understand that I have no, I have no, qualms. What was that word? Otherwise, right? I just, it's just for my own personal ADHD. I just can't keep up with everything, and I don't want to forget people. I know Apple looked really nice. But I'll show you why Apple, if you're using the BS, the buying and selling detector, you would never have taken Apple, right? So watch this, Brian. So look at the open, see how we're trending down in a very obvious. So I went ahead and marked in because I was thinking about taking a long entry on Apple, right? So, but I didn't take a long entry. But now that we've been talking about the buying and selling detector, can you see why I didn't take it? Look at the difference between Apple and RTY. This one bought and offered, right? Where Apple got stuffed, right? Look at the deviation at the open. It tried to buy and got stuffed. It then offered to sellers and started selling. So it wasn't buying. We were in a buying range, but we were not buying. And you never want to buy when you're not buying, right? So we then kept selling. And then here is just offering, right? So a lot of people get really tempted to buy these. You can't, right? Because we're selling and we're just offering right now. You got to wait till we start buying. Here we go. Here's our first offer to the buyers all day. Other than pre-market, this is the first time we've offered to buyers all day on Apple, right? We then offered to the sellers, and the sellers are now what? The sellers appear to be exhausted, right? So as we're trying to move down, we are not getting the same amount of order flow or the same amount of volume to the downside that we were getting. So we've pushed hard multiple times into these levels to the downside, right? And we have not been able to move back down. So reversals happen because of our bottom end reversals happen because we exhaust our sellers, right? If everyone was coming into the market and selling because they were freaking out, this market would be going down, right? It's always better for market makers to accumulate low, right? They're more than happy to distribute and start buying back later and get a better cost average, right? This is, what happens is we have run out of market level participants, retail, mom and pop, institutional, proprietary that are willing to get short on Apple on a lower, wider range outside of S4. This is too low for selling, right? So we've exhausted our sellers, as you can see, right? And now we are trying to entice our buyers. So far, we have enticed buyers, and we are now buying, right? So right now, what we want to see is if this buying sustains, then this will look like a solid move back to at least S4, and then we'll see what happens if we can if we can bring in the real buyers. So far, if you're looking at it, we did not manage to bring in a lot of buying. And so we're already right at where we exhausted our buyers last time we tried to buy in pre-market. So this will be a big area to watch. If we can just re-offer the zero, re-offer the offer line, and then start buying again, that should be all we need for a decent reversal, which will likely run back to somewhere near pre-market low. Maybe even get back to near the open price. If it happens. Statistically, right now, we're outside the range after 10:30. So there's a good chance we just chop. Yeah, I'll look at ES. ES just started buying. So see how ES has been selling all day? We haven't been along yet all day. right? We tried to buy right here, but we exhausted very easily. But for the first time, this looks like genuine buying right now, right? We're actually in the buy. We've actually offered to the buyers and enticed buying after selling almost all day. And we didn't move a lot. So what does that tell you potentially? If we had a lot of selling today, but we didn't move very far down, that insinuates what? Absorption, right? I think to me that insinuates that we could have had some accumulation here. Since we were trying to move down and we had lots of sell side volume, but we couldn't make a lot of movement. Exactly, humorous. This could be the specialist algorithm actually taking on float, right? So is there anybody in here, as we're getting like in the last 10, that doesn't understand what I mean when I say they're taking on the float? I just want to see how many people I can confuse in one session. Okay, good. I was hoping at least one person would ask. Thanks, Bryce. All right. So when we're talking about moving the market, a lot of people do not understand how the market actually moves. Now, I will never be able to give you a book that teaches you this because I didn't learn it from a book, so I can't teach it to you from a book. I learned this from market makers directly, right? And so when I'm teaching you this, what I'm teaching you is firsthand knowledge from me, from multiple NYSE market makers on how this happens, right? So when you are talking about the float, you are talking about the number of shares that are outstanding in the market. Now, everybody knows that when you send a transaction in the market, there are two sides to every transaction, right? A buy and a sell. So if there's two sides to every transaction, how can there be shares that are floating around in the market? Who has those shares? Market makers, specialists. That's who has those. That's what it means to be a specialist. A specialist has a very special type of account that they're traders, just like you and me. They just have a very specialized type of account that allows them to hold the float. So when we use the word float, we say specialists. We designate our specialists as market makers or DMMs. Market maker is actually not a term. There are no actual market makers. Their actual title is a specialist broker, right? We designate them as market makers because it's easier, right? So vernacular is a DMM, right? And then that is kind of spread over the past as digitizing has occurred, that is spread. But technically there is no market maker. There are just specialists. The float is the specialists' inventory. So when we want to move the price down or up, we move by the specialist manipulating the float, right? By manipulating the float, the specialist can change at will the supply and demand in the market, right? A large specialist like Citadel that's doing massive amounts of retail volume can really move things around. Now, how do they do this? They do this by utilizing absorption. Whenever someone buys, if the specialist doesn't want the price to go up, they will distribute into the buying, right? So when you're buying high and the price isn't going up, why is it not going up? That is because the specialist is offloading the float into your buying. You are buying the float. You are not buying somebody's sell shares that are put on the book above you. You are buying inside the spread off the float. And that is why the price is not going up. That is absorption, right? When you're reading the tape, you're seeing green prints above the ask and we're not going up. Why? That is called absorption, right? So when we're talking about upward or downward movement, what we're talking about is paying attention to the response to the market makers, specialists, algorithm on how they respond to our requests. Therefore, we can see how they manipulate the float. This is how we can tell if we're buying or selling. Right now, this ticker BS has been doing what all day? It takes you 3 seconds to look with the BS detector. Yes, Alex. The float is what the market makers are holding, right? So, for instance, why did the GameStop squeeze happen so badly? What was the main issue with the GameStop and the Wall Street bets, all that stuff? What was the main killer for that thing? Why was it the perfect storm? There was a high what? You guys don't remember? Are we this far out? Short float. They had a high short float, right? So that means that a lot of people had sold shares from their brokers. What does a high short float mean? If you're selling away shorts, who's buying those shorts? The specialists, right? They're specialists. They can't give those shorts to somebody else. If you want to buy them back, they have to fill them, right? So you're going to short into the specialist and they're just going to take them and lower their average cost. So now what happens when you have no topside sellers, a crap load of gamma in the market, and an insanely high short float? Gamma squeeze. And that is why Wall Street bets worked, because what happened is as we moved up, right, we squeezed the shorts, right? This forced broker return buying to flood into an empty topside book with no sell orders in the way to the top side. There was no way for market makers to cover other than from the float, which was highly shorted against. So we had to keep buying. The higher we went, the more options exercised, the more gamma, the more forced buying, no sellers. And what was the big phrase, everybody? Diamond hands, right? Nobody was gonna sell. And because no one sold, the specialist could not replenish the float. So they had to keep emptying the float, and the more we every time someone sold, the specialist would have to immediately absorb it and throw it into the top side of the book. So we are just yoink, and we go straight to the top, right? It's crazy how that stuff can happen, right? So this is what makes the price move up and down. Right now, we have not moved up on ES all day because guess what we haven't been doing all day? We haven't been buying, right? In order to go up, you need buying. It's all there is to it, right? So if you're having trouble in your position, especially if you're a pattern trader, I would highly recommend either reading my book and a Cooling Complete Guide to Volume and Price Analysis, anything in that category. Livermore, Wyckoff, Nay from the 70s, Neil from the 20s. I mean, there's so many good books out there on tape, order flow, and reading market maker and specialist movements. I highly recommend that you take some time and crack into that, because my cheat code for the market was when I was able to look at it and say, we are buying, we are selling. It's a state of being. Why go long when we are selling? Why go short when we are buying? You know what I'm saying? Wait for it to be in the right posture at the right time, right? Wait for the confirmation. Why ES not along today? Because it's been selling all day long. I hope you've all found this segment very informative. I really appreciate all of you coming by and hanging out with me every single day. I really enjoy it every single time. You are the best. I will see you all on tomorrow for another great day of trading. Like, share, subscribe, Garbage Shorts and Lambos, everybody in the BBT paywall. So great to actually get to hang out with you. I don't get to do it enough. Don't forget Thursday night mentoring tonight for all of you. Also, don't forget I'm doing a little bit of a webinar this evening. 3 golden tips to looking at order flow. So maybe a little bit of what we're talking about right now, we're going to talk a little bit more about later. So I hope you all have a great one. Much love. Keep it great. Bye. It was a good non-rollout, folks. Oh, RTY is hitting. Hold on, since we're here. We're just gonna hang in the room till I get kicked out by Peter. Hold on. We can just do this all day. I don't care. I'll hang out with you people. I got nothing to do. Oh, just kidding. Booted. Uh, uh, love you. Bye.